and thank you so much for joining us here at Off the Beaten Quest. There's a lot of D&D podcasts out there, but you chose this one, and we're so glad you did. Because the good news for you is that this podcast is never going to give you up. It's never going to let you down. It's never going to turn around and hurt you. Last session, we had some very revelations with different deities and gods that all of our people got a chance to, some of our people got to incorporate, as well as kind of reel from that and the facts that kind of encompassed it. And we kind of left our session off with Ira having an interesting encounter in the evening and waking up to subsequently with like a knife in the wall and some things that happened around that, where she had an eye tattooed on the center of her hand that, as she showed Jax, blinked. So we are going to pick up right back there. So you had just grabbed the dagger. Essentially, it created this mark on your hand. It was like a burn. But it's kind of like, not like a normal burn. It's like the tattoo of an eye, essentially, in the palm of your hand. And it seems to be blinking. So almost as if it's like looking around and kind of moving in this, like, it's almost like an animated tattoo. Yeah, so we're going to pick right up there.
What time of day is it?
This is the morning. This is essentially, it's like after the night.
Okay.
Essentially like the next morning.
She's not going to say anything to Jax. She's not going to cast Speak with Animals. She's just going to trust that Alyer understands her. She's going to tell Alyer to stay with Jax.
Okay.
And she's going to grab her cloak and she's just going to go.
Okay. Because you had just showed it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he essentially just saw that.
And she wouldn't have seen it blink before. It's like that would be a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume, given the night before, her inability to like calm herself down from what happened.
Yeah.
Tattoos don't blink.
Yeah.
She's going to go and try and find a pair of gloves.
Okay. So
and then try to talk to Nylea, but that's after the gloves.
You leave this inn kind of fairly early on, in the morning, without saying anything to anybody.
Her hood is up
because
it's like the way I've always pictured it is that it's a deeper hood, kind of like a Luke Skywalker kind of things. Completely covers her face, so she's like that's fully up.
Okay.
She is as like bundled in as she can be to like anything that could identify her. She's done her best to cover.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would think that kind of without fail, I mean, you go in, it's essentially the middle of the week in Luare, so everything is kind of at least starting to open up, the hustle and bustle of the day as people are kind of walking through the streets, heading to their different places of business, and just you go outside, you head to the marketplace that you guys had gone to before, and I mean, it doesn't take much time to find like a clothier that can sell you a pair of gloves. I mean, essentially, you just like
non-leather.
Yeah, it's like it could be cloth, like gloves.
Can't use leather gloves.
So essentially, I would just say mark 2 silver off of your like inventory. So, so you find gloves without fail.
I couldn't figure out which one was silver.
So
then she's heading to. Have it in my notes. I can't find it. The Mangrove Sanctum.
Yes, that is where you were told.
It was Mangrove or Mangrave.
Mangrove.
My handwriting.
With an O, not an A. That'd be 2 totally different things.
Yes.
So you head straight there.
Mm-hmm.
As you get there, you see this like kind of towering multi-level temple built around it's built around a mangrove tree. It's the house altar is kind of like, it's based around like, you see like symbols for nature, protection, water, like all the different things that would kind of encompass those deities. The tree's massive. Its gnarled roots kind of sprawling into the swamp and the waters below. The wooden platforms kind of wrap around the trunk, kind of leading up to different like balconies and terraces, kind of adorned with different like wind chimes and moss-covered statues. There is some bioluminescent fungi that's kind of growing along the bark and casting kind of a very faint blue glow, because essentially it's daytime, so you wouldn't see too much of it. As you enter, it's very cool and dimly lit. The natural like kind of alcoves that are carved into this tree itself, each level is kind of very dedicated to a different aspect of worship. The uppermost chamber is open to the sky, so it's allowing kind of moonlight to filter in during the nocturnal, during nocturnal rites and different types of those kinds of things as far as the night parts of nature. But you see a green-scaled lizard folk kind of like person like druid, essentially with like bright amber eyes. So essentially, it very much so. This is like the equivalency of like lizard folk, but she looks similar to like that of like a crocodile or an alligator. It's very like I can't remember the distinction between the two, to be quite honest. But essentially, it's like that similarity as far as how the shape of her face and stuff like that is kind of structured. And as you enter, she introduces herself. She says, "Hello, welcome to the Mangrove Sanctum. My name is High Priestess Marilith Saros. What brings you to the Sanctum? What does nature see? What do you seek in nature?"
I'm looking to find a place where I can commune with Nylea.
Ah, yes, Leah,
Ira is like,
goddess of the hunt. Yes. I would kind of like gestures. I would believe if you kind of take this staircase and it kind of takes you up to that balcony. There's some alcoves kind of nearby that essentially should give you some privacy as you go through there. But yeah, if you need anything else, by all means, there should be, as of course I usually do every morning of the temple, there's some incense and candles lit and things like that. But feel free to light your own ceremonial as you need to pay homage.
Thank you.
Yep.
And she goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think her hood is still up.
Yeah.
Unless this is like an enclosed space.
It is. This is an enclosed completely, like it's like the inside of a tree trunk. So essentially it's like completely enclosed except for like a very like opening in the center.
Okay.
So you follow the staircase up to the balcony and you find kind of one of those. This is very much like an altar you've seen similar in Bountifolia, essentially. Maybe not necessarily one-to-one, but it's similar as far as offerings and just kind of things that would be paying homage to that of like the god of nature or of the hunt, things like that. So yeah, what do you do to kind of get into that meditative state?
Are there incense there, like in the
ones
to go back downstairs
light and stuff? Yeah,
more?
There are like it's like almost like in the different incense holders and stuff. There are some that are empty and things like that, but there's like a cup of incense that you can do, and essentially in your adventurer's pack or whatever, you have like flint and steel and stuff, so you can.
I mean, I would just prestidigitation a little flame and light it. I wouldn't.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Need a whole thing. Yeah.
It took everything in me to not do the Minecraft movie meme. Flint and steel.
Too late. You did it now.
I know. It's there. Dated.
Yeah. I'm just gonna draw an assumption here. She's gonna pull an incense that is as close to myrrh as possible.
Okay.
And then just like that.
I would think that's typically kind of what a lot of the incense that they have there.
Standard, yeah.
As far as like kind of the connotations of myrrh, essentially, as far as those kinds of spaces.
Murder.
Frankincense and murder. Judith. So you essentially you light one of the myrrh incense and you kind of put it in one of the incense holders. A lot of the incense holders are kind of like very much like they're branches of the mangrove tree itself that have been kind of carved. A lot of the wooden fixtures that you see, as far as things, it looks as if it was like kind of repurposed from the tree itself to make sure that they didn't just hollow out a tree and deal away with the waste. They kind of reused it, kept it sustainable. Yeah. To kind of as much like nature's practices, to make sure use of all the natural things. So you light this incense and kind of put it in one of the holders, and you sit down to meditate.
Yeah, she just goes back on her knees, like knees together, like. Yeah. She does pull her hood back at that time. Gloves are still on. This music is way more cheery than Ira is. Yeah, and just does her best to like center in.
Okay. By the way, the music was gonna transition. You just had to give it a second. We're getting there. You got to cook first. So you kneel down to meditate. What do you think about to put you in that space? Like, how do you center in and get to that meditative?
I think probably the same place she does when she's trying to fall asleep, which is like, it's like visualizing in her mind's eye, like her most peaceful place.
Okay.
And I think when she's trying to get to Nylea, it's the initial image of when they first communed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was absolutely just beautiful forest around her, just being completely enveloped by everything that felt, in Ira's mind, everything that felt correct.
Okay.
About, like, nature and about, like, the balance of all of that. And, yeah, I don't know if she'd get there. There's an eyeball blinking on the palm of her hand. I would think that she would also have this, like, hypochondriac phantom sensation that she feels it blinking.
Yeah.
It probably isn't, but, like, she's just thinking that
Like
it
when
is.
you feel like you have like a bug on you or something and it's not there.
Yeah, and you don't. Yeah.
So as you kind of you think of through all that and it kind of gets yourself to that space, you are able to drift off. You find yourself in this essentially kind of a lot of the area that you're in kind of has a little bit of influence as to kind of how you get there. You kind of almost essentially you kind of start to like you almost like reopen your eyes and you are in this like swampy kind of grove. It's very serene. Essentially, it's kind of almost like devoid of a lot of the architecture and things that you kind of came to, from Luware. And you are walking on these like, it's almost as if like the swamp, there is like this land kind of bridge that's kind of like weaving its way through like the swampy waters and the different like moss and kind of creatures and stuff that would be through as like a forest just like completely surrounding you. You step forward and you see Nylea is almost like tending to one of the trees. You see as if she's kind of like pruning it, trimming it up a little bit, kind of getting it to, it almost seems as if she's like taking care of the trees that are kind of around this swamp. She herself isn't on like one of this like land bridge mass. She's kind of standing amidst the swamp, but you can see that she's kind of almost like on this like embankment. Not as if she's walking on the water, but essentially as if like a lot of the like the grass or foliage and stuff is kind of making almost like platforms, kind of like for under where she's like standing. And so you kind of step to this kind of almost like kind of inlet that's like in the center of this like swampy water. So it's kind of like you have like almost like a plateau that you end on. And there's probably about, I want to say like 3 feet from you to where she is. So essentially there's a little bit of water in between the two of you. How do you get her attention?
So she's tending to.
Yeah, she looks she looks a little busy, almost like, I guess you could say in a metaphoric sense.
She's busy. Okay. Well, she's like Ira's like looking around like the environment, and the first thought that comes to mind isn't necessarily where she is. It's she wishes she had her mother's like green thumb.
Okay.
So she like looks to Nylea. It's like, it's one of the benefits of being your champion, learning how to keep things like this alive.
She kind of like looks. Well, it does come with a bit of practice, but I'm sure you'll find the skills in time.
If I ever have to stop running away from things, I have a few things if you have a moment.
I can spare a moment. I've been a little busy as of late. There's been some developments, as I'm sure you well know.
Sorry about that.
Some things are better off in a certain way, I guess is the way to phrase it. But I have taken on a little bit of an extra work. There's some things that, for now, I've taken up the mantle of the god of nature. And so I've been tending to the nature as it's needed. But These are for, at least for the time being, at least.
Any additional tasks I could assist with in that way?
We'll get to that.
Okay. She takes a really big deep breath. And which hand is it? Is it on?
Essentially, I would think you would have tried to grab it with your right hand, so it's
Okay.
on your right hand, yeah.
She is going to take off that glove.
Nothing's there.
So earlier... Yes, and...
Yeah.
So earlier, there was a eye on this hand.
It's still there. It's not in this form, at least, but...
What do I do about that? I don't... See, there are things, as I'm sure you all know, about existing that I need to be able to use my hands for, and I don't want people to... Yeah.
Well, I don't think that it would debilitate any of that, I don't think.
Okay. There's a bigger issue here. I guess my initial concern is, like, when I go to the bathroom, like, I don't want unconsented company. So how do I get rid of this?
That seems to be a bit more of a
Sorry.
specific worry than what normal people would be worried about,
Well, I am
suppose,
worried
but-
about the bigger thing, but, like, the whole regular, like, changing clothes thing. That's, like, a more, like, immediate problem, I think. But, I know you don't, like, dabble in the affairs of mortals, but can you point me in the right direction on what I'm supposed to do about this? I'm, like, 95% sure this is my brother.
As I've mentioned before,
I know you don't, but still, come on. Just throw me a bone.
it would not be in the
We just
best
killed a
interest
god.
of that of the material plane if we had to intervene again.
What do you mean, again?
I mean, you know the history. Should I have to spell it back out for you?
You didn't 3 days ago. I have a dead friend because of it.
Again, there are some matters to which it's best we not meddle in. We learned our lesson 1,000 years ago.
Is she mad that I summoned Halma?
No,
Okay.
it's only an ingot. It's only like a version of it. It's not
Right.
like the actually Homa.
Her, not it.
Yeah. But I do think that you should handle things in your realm before we do have to get involved again, because I do feel as if we do get involved a second time, it could be a bit more uglier than the first.
What if I'm open to that?
I wouldn't be. It's in your best interest as well as, I would think, your friends, that we stay where we are. Is how you would say it, staying in your lane.
Okay. I also have 2 dots on my hand I've never noticed before that I'm seeing for the first time. Well, that's exceedingly helpful.
The eye to which is on your hand,
Yes.
it does come from where you think it does.
Lovely.
And like I said, best you handle it before we do.
I know you don't meddle, but do you have any words of advice? At all? Quick and painless?
Act swiftly and carry a big stick.
My big stick is on the way to the Nocte Mountains.
Well, your group of people have seemed capable enough before. You tend to surround yourself with them.
They find me. I don't find them.
Sometimes fates are interwoven.
She's just like, what is it with that word? Everyone else hear that?
Yeah, it's loud outside.
Um,
I keep checking to make sure like nothing's happening.
It's thundering,
yeah.
and we're on tornado watch. Hi guys. We're playing D&D.
So if we randomly lose power, that's why. Just go with it.
Yeah, they're live on YouTube addressing it. So
That means there's a.
yeah, I mean, well, it's the winds they're addressing, not anything else. So
Okay.
we're fine for now.
By the time you'll see this, we'll be out of tornado season, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So swiftly and with a big stick. Okay. She's like what's running through her head is like, I'm so far out of my depth. I literally don't know what to do. Can you just tell me what to do? It's like, I don't know how to be an adult. How do I pay the power bill?
Are you all right? You seem different.
Well, Had another friend die. My other friend killed a god, and then her god stepped in, and now apparently there's a whole thing where everyone's kind of shuffled about trying to figure things out.
Oh, trust me,
And you've
I'm
expanded your
aware.
responsibilities, which congratulations if that's in order. I don't know if it is or if it's just part of the job. But now my brother that I haven't seen in like I don't know how many decades has just decided to come out of the blue and then tried one of his people, I don't know, tried to like
Slow
put a dagger
down.
through the wall.
My goodness.
Seeing Ira like this is actually so funny.
What an exposition dump. I mean, there's no congratulations. How would you feel if you had to do extra work because someone isn't ready to take on the mantle?
What does that mean?
There is an individual in the world, in your world, that is poised to be the next god of nature, but they are far from ready.
Do I know them?
No.
Okay. And like this huge, like, thank God, big world thing I'm not responsible for. Thank God.
And even if you did, I wouldn't tell you. Again, we do not meddle. Get that through your head.
Well,
If you're going to understand and be my champion, I'm not going to repeat myself much.
you do often.
Because you don't listen.
I listen fine. And she's starting to realize how much Verity is like rubbing off on her.
But it's best you do what is necessary. Keep the realm safe. Is your duty as my champion, and just as a champion of a god in general. That's what your purpose is. Or at least for now. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but
Would make things easier, but I understand.
I mean, you signed up for a job,
Yeah.
so do the job.
She literally had to think back, like, did I sign up for this? Okay, well. In my attempt to save the mortal world, maybe? I don't know. Is there anything else you need for me to do? Or anything I can assist you with?
Not really.
Okay.
And I don't I appreciate the vigor, but there's not much I can have somebody on the material plane help me at least.
I just feel like there's not much for me to do for you now that the whole poacher situation is resolved.
Trust me, there are other problems for you to deal with.
Okay. She's also.
But what are they?
But she's like not even gonna waste the breath to ask that because she doesn't interfere. So
You also have your own brain. You have your own free will. You have the choices that you can make, and you've done just fine thus far. Do I need to hold your hand? I've never had to do that for a champion before, but I suppose if I have to.
I mean, do you have champions whose friends die every time we come up against something hard?
Yes. Life is but a part of nature, is it not?
So like, never mind.
Oh, come on, spit it out.
No. You and Flosset as besties.
Not necessarily.
What about this veiled one? What's she all about? You have this new person that's joining the party who's all about this veiled one. She's like in love with her. It's
Do I
weird.
ask about your personal relationships?
But like understanding the political dynamic of the powers that be is a relevant component to my
For you to try to wrap your head around that of gods would probably kill you.
It's written in textbooks.
Yes. In simple terms, for simple material folk.
So I'm simple-minded now. Got it. Okay.
No, some people have the abilities.
Is she in her big, or is she like at my level?
It's in a larger like form, but
Okay.
still, yeah. Because like in order, it's almost like to reach like she was reaching the different. It's almost like the tree to her was at like a hedge, and so she's like trimming like the hedges or like
Yeah.
pruning it and stuff. So that's like
like the
Yeah.
the trees out back.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh, that's not good enough for you.
that's. Did I say that?
but your.
People with putting words in
It
my
was
mouth.
your tone.
Well, that's fair. I don't agree with the assessment, but it's a fair one. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. Is that how this works?
I suppose you're free to do as you like. You came to me. I don't.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
I to be quite honest, I don't really know either.
I'm so helpful. Okay, well, Collier says hello and thank you. What?
It's just my face.
Appreciated.
And she's gonna try to like wake up, I guess.
Okay.
Wake up!
So essentially, you go back the way you came through this
Mhm.
like kind of land bridge, to the point where you, essentially like kind of like wake up back in this, kind of alcove meditation area, and
First thing she's gonna do is look around the space, make sure that she's still safe.
yeah, you're probably still by yourself.
I don't know why I picture like there being windows also in the space into other parts of the tree.
It's not the Keebler tree. It's
What a callback. I love that man.
Not what I pictured, but she's gonna put her hood back up.
Okay.
And leave, I guess.
Some Keebler cookies now. Fuck.
Okay.
I have a recipe.
So, you essentially like pay your respects and you head out of the mangrove sanctum.
Mhm.
Okay. Where to now?
She's gonna check to see if the eyeball is there. Is the eyeball there?
It is.
Eyeball is there. Okay. She's gonna name it Tom.
This is a
Fair
peeping
enough.
Tom.
God,
Yes.
it's Surprised you didn't go with like Ivan or something.
Why Ivan?
Because it's I.
Tom's better. With an H and an E.
Stop.
That's Tome.
Thome.
Yeah, well, the H is... Well, no, there's really not a B in there, I guess. Whatever. Grammar. But
Yeah, I don't think she doesn't want to go back to the Tavern Inn. Because she doesn't want to be seen.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, they're going to come looking for you.
That's fine. That's fine.
So.
Is there a outpost here? An adventurance outpost? I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
Not that you're aware of.
Of course. Why would there be? Why would the realm's largest crime-fighting organization not have an outpost anywhere?
It's almost as if I'm not going to spoon feed it to you.
Lame.
Oh, you mean the first time Ira gets anything and you just want me to hand you the keys to the car and let you just drive around?
DC 1, duh.
Yeah, okay. More like DC 100.
I mean, she is gonna like look for like some kind of food, I guess. But while she's like looking for the food, she's also gonna keep an eye out for anything that looks familiar. Because there was like a piece of paper, right, on like the dagger and stuff.
No.
What
There
was
was
it?
just that like cloth wrapped
The
around
cloth,
it that had
okay.
part of the symbol, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what she's gonna like. Just keep an eye out for that anywhere.
Okay.
It's on like back doors, down alleyways, like cellar doors,
Mhm.
like.
As you're walking through the Ware and you're kind of essentially heading back to the market, which is like the only place you've, other than like the tavern and inn that you came from, that you've seen food at. You walk through the streets and every once in a while you get this kind of like flash. Like you have to like kind of like refocus yourself. As if you're walking through like dark corridors.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like you're in the middle of broad daylight and you feel like you're inside for a second and then you kind of like come through. You hear every once in a while you're kind of walking through like a small like whisper that sounds like it's in a language you've never heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the market, you essentially hear Ira, like your name being whispered every once in a while.
Which direction is it coming from?
Behind you.
Turned around.
And you, for a second before it just kind of like, almost as if like something blurry out of focus, and then you're kind of like come to, you see as if there's like shadowy figures standing behind you, and you kind of like adjust your eyes and they're gone. But so it's almost like for like almost like a split second.
Her head goes to Verity's patron.
Okay.
That's what she thinks.
Okay.
Has she found food?
Yeah, you've made it back to the market and you found food.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I guess we're gonna jump back to the inn, and
She is going to come back, but she's going for that one. She don't give a shit about anybody else.
or are you going back to the inn now that you found food?
Only because of the shadow figure. She's going to get Verity.
Okay.
That's it.
So after you grab essentially what is like a small pastry and something at like a little stall, you head your way back. Take like 2 copper out of your inventory.
Pokey pokey.
You essentially make your way back to the tavern and inn, where now by this point everybody has gone downstairs.
Sorry, guys.
It is met at the tavern portion of the tavern and inn, and Jax has kind of explained that she left abruptly. Well, that was the conversation that they had while you were gone.
Not another one. Looking at Donna and I.
So you are all in this tavern part as you see Ira kind of come through the front door.
Oh, okay.
Ira.
Where is Verity sitting in relation to all this? Is she in a place where I can come up behind you?
I mean,
I would essentially think that we're sitting kind of like we are at the table, whereas like Jax is kind of where you're sitting right now. Yeah.
Ira's gonna go up behind Verity
Okay.
on the side away from everyone and say I need to talk to her in private.
Okay.
okay. Verity immediately gets up and
Yeah.
like follows you.
Okay. What's everyone's hearing?
Like passives.
Are you nosy little Nellies?
A little bit.
My passive's an 18, as well as my insight's a passive 18.
Mine's a 19.
We go outside.
Okay.
Because she doesn't know if she can trust Sable yet.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And she doesn't know if like Sable is part of this thing that she's so scared of.
Okay.
To be fair, veiled one shadows makes sense.
Okay.
That's not why Ira had put that together.
Oh,
It's
well.
just, she's new.
I thought about it.
Is everything all right? Jax told us you just.
There was okay, so she's gonna like pull her glove like down and like show her
Okay.
that happened. And I was perusing the market just now, and I heard my name and a split second shadow figure behind me.
Okay.
So I don't know if you could put a word in with your guy to stop with me, but that would be great.
Okay. Very ominous weather.
Yeah.
Internally, Verity will go, do you know anything about this?
Nothing responds.
It's very quiet. Erebus is not responding. So, do you mind if and she's gonna cast detect magic. I'm guessing she doesn't need to visually see it.
I mean, I can take the glove off. That's not a problem.
No, she's just gonna put her hand over it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
Which is hysterical because I think Ira can also do that, but she hasn't.
if you sense such a where is it? Yeah, Prince magical effects within 30 feet. See a faint aura around a visible creature or object in the area that bears the magic, and an effect was created by a spell you learn in the spell school of magic.
Okay. The aura like around this is like a kind of almost like a deep, like blackish purple. And you see that this is the school, the divination spell.
Well, definitely magic. It's this purple, like black purple. It's divination. I wondered have you tried, like, remove, I don't know if it would be considered a curse, but like remove.
I haven't done anything. Because it keeps blinking at me.
Is it blinking
So
at me?
it's not like it's not a continuous animation where it's like looping like a GIF.
No, I know, but like,
happens every once in a while.
right.
Like an eye would normally exist.
Do I see it blinking at me though?
The pupil moves.
Let's put that back on you, like.
He pulls the fabric back down.
Maybe we should try remove curse. Maybe I don't know if it's a curse or not. Try that or
So
some.
basically, I don't know what to do, but like, I don't know if this like Sable person. Basically, this all has to like tie in. I'm assuming with like my brother and all of that stuff that's going on, and Sable's timing of showing her face and then now this happening feels weird. Probably paranoia, because you know me, but I don't know what to do.
Okay.
So calm and collected when it's everybody else's problems. When
Right,
it comes to
it's so
yours, you're just
fun.
like, what?
Yeah.
I have a question. Is the tattoo hyper realistic or is it like a
No, it's essentially like
Okay.
the outline of an eye.
Okay.
Like it's just like the kind of
That's what I pictured
shape
at
and,
first.
like a dot.
But
It's like in black ink, so it's like kind of like the all-seeing eye. Like
Basically, I just wanted to know if it was Erebus or not.
I again, he's very quiet, so I can't answer that. I mean, well, I take that back. Their magic is more of just a purple color. Though it does have purple in it, it's more on the blacker end. So I think it might be a different being.
Cool! I'm so excited. Let's go inside.
Hold on, before like we go in, she just kind of like come on. I feel just let's hug it. I feel like Dawn would want this. Let's just hug.
And she's like stiff like a board because she's like, I don't want any kind of emotion, good or bad, because I will break and start crying, and I don't want to do that right now. Oh.
very slowly, like very stiffly too, goes around and like taps on her back like it's okay. You're gonna get through it. You got us, you got Jax.
Is there anything around us right now that's like sus?
I mean, you make a perception check.
there's 2 goblins in the corner staring at you.
3 goblins in a trench coat.
Perception?
Yeah.
16 plus 8.
Okay.
24.
24. 24. 2 24s.
Yay!
48 total if it counts.
Okay.
We take the average. No, everything seems normal.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Have you talked with Nylea?
Yes. Just as exceedingly helpful as always.
That doesn't. You don't sound excited about that.
Just exceedingly helpful as always. Yeah.
Is Ira making the face you're making?
Yeah. She did confirm that it is my brother, though, so we should get on that.
What?
Yeah.
What exactly did your brother do? I think I'm out of the loop.
He's
That-
Make a history check.
part of like a cult.
Make a history check.
He's part of like a cult.
You don't get to answer until you get the lore. Because we've talked about this at length.
The lore.
Which one am I using? This one. Matchy. What was it? History?
Mm-hmm.
Another 24.
Okay. You know he has fanatic tendencies. Nothing has been confirmed by you or your family.
Why are you saying this like this?
So the aspect of a cult is
spicy.
not that eradicate that from anything that just happened, because that's nowhere in the knowledge of what. So you just know him to have fanatical tendencies and wild ideologies.
Maybe he's just in it alone. Maybe he hasn't recruited everyone into a cult.
Yeah. There's no way to confirm your suspicions of that, if anything.
You know those, like, weird guys in school
Can you be more specific? I know a lot of weird guys.
that are, like,
Take it easy.
that, like, hyperfixate on, like, not cool stuff?
What kind of school did you go to?
It's not a normal one.
I'm from a small. Well. Yeah.
Ish.
No. Well,
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of friends, so I really don't know.
He's just not a normal guy.
Okay.
Just remember, no iPhone faces.
What?
The metaphor, no iPhone faces.
We've had this conversation before.
Yeah. You got a little too close to the real world things.
Okay. Fanatic, got it. I'm guessing you would have said that.
Sure.
All right, we'll keep an eye out. And is there anywhere else we need to go besides, just get the heck out of here?
I don't.
Because between the hand thing and getting kicked out of the place yesterday, we probably should get you out of here as soon as possible.
You'd think.
Okay. Verity opens the door and just yells, Jax! We're leaving! Gather, everyone!
Okay, so he kind of like begrudgingly gets up from the table with Oyer and Cole, and just is like, all right, guys, like,
Okay.
guess I'm the messenger. Like, let's go.
Now I'm just picturing Ira's brother as like a frat boy. You're like those weird guys at school.
Not that side of weird.
I guess we're okay.
Oh man.
I guess I follow.
So we all come outside.
Everyone's got all their things? Good, cool.
What? Okay.
We need to get Ira out of here.
Okay.
Why?
Because fate has decided that we need to get out of here, so we're gonna get out of here. Right? Everyone cool.
All right, if that's what we gotta do, that's what we
why
gotta
are we
do.
leaving?
Because of the thing on her hand,
What on it? What?
Okay.
What?
and we need to shoo away.
No. Nothing.
This is a 23 insight on Sable for trustworthiness.
Yeah, she ain't doing anything shady.
Yeah.
What school did you say this was?
Divination.
She's gonna pull the fabric back on her hand and show it to Sable to see what her thoughts are.
Sable's gonna immediately touch you and cast Death Ward, which is just
It's a good
she doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
But basically for 8 hours, if you were to die, you would be not dead.
A zombie.
No, you would go
Instead
back
of dropping
to 1
to
HP.
unconscious,
Okay.
you go back to
Unconscious,
one. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I feel anything when that happens?
Not really.
No.
Mm.
I'm just like, do you do a high five?
Yeah.
Bump.
You high five it?
So, why? I get that it's weird. That
I
it's
went
on her hand, but what?
to Nylea, and she confirmed that this is from my brother's activities.
So you didn't get a tattoo in the middle of the night.
No.
So-
and I definitely wouldn't get one on that side of my hand. I would get it on the pretty side of my
But
hand.
why are we worried? Or why? I guess I don't understand why we're rushing out of this place. If it's
So-
something we need to handle, wouldn't we want to stay?
You know how when you went to lunch or dinner, whatever it was, with Eliana and her mothers,
Yeah.
and how Sable and Verity and I stayed back?
Yeah.
When the sun figured out that I am Marian, we were shoved out the door and told we should leave immediately because I am not safe. And then that night, the
Well, that
fabric's
sounds-
pulled back down. This happened.
Well, yeah. I was there for part of that. I mean, and he kind of looks at Verity. He's like, "Don't you break into shit? Why don't you prove that this person is a part of the threat?
Who are you talking about?
You've broken into people's houses before.
Whose house?
I've never broken into anyone's house, at least not
She
that
told
you've
us
seen.
about the person she almost killed.
Oh yeah, I
Not that you've seen.
I did do that.
She told us though. We were there when she said, "Yeah, kind of." That's the reason that I don't want to go in there.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what Jack said? I just go.
He said, "Don't you break into stuff? Why don't you prove that if he's a part of it, then we prove that he's a part of it and we deal with it, and then we don't have to be
What?
scared anymore."
We don't know if the child is a part of it. We're
He's just aware.
you
Well-
can be aware of and have knowledge.
Didn't
But
she say
I
that
can't
dad
go-
was weird?
The little boy was weird. The dad just went upstairs to make dinner.
Oh, I thought you said you got a weird vibe. But okay,
It's like a week and a half ago. I don't.
you did. You said he was tense and rushed off, and then the kid rushed you out of the building.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I said that.
Sure.
That happened.
This is why we take notes.
Probably in my notes. I
And,
can't read that.
and the fact too that we last night, also weirdly enough, last night I think there was in Thieves' Cant on the bar. It said that I was always watching or something like that.
Oh,
All the more reason to figure it out and deal with it, right?
I mean, that's literally an eye,
Yeah.
and it blinks.
I'm wondering if the man.
Why am I the only one putting things together?
I wonder if like the man and the child were trying to protect her, or if they were trying to scare her away.
And shouldn't we figure that out?
Do you want us to just like walk over and ask nicely?
No, we have the one that's good at sneaking into shit.
Well, like, why would we sneak in when we could?
Is she good at sneaking into shit? She seems to get caught a lot.
I think
Again, I guess I would have to understand if people understood the concept of what people are. So if I'd be like, yeah, well, she's a rogue, like that's what she does, or not.
She also rolls like shit, so she gets caught a lot.
well.
I mean, I could make her invisible.
I think it's up to Ira whether we leave or stay. Should we stay or should we go?
Well, you were trying to tell us all we were leaving. You were making the decision a second ago.
Well, now, we all need to talk anyway. Ira, what do I'm gonna leave it.
See, this is what happens when Ira gets things in the story. Everybody just falls apart.
Mom doesn't know what to do. I mean, yeah. I would like to know so that I know what to do next. I guess.
I mean, I wasn't there, and they seemed really nice when I was there. I just don't feel like breaking into their house is very nice.
Yeah, they kept her parents safe, but again, if it's weird, find out. And it's not ever breaking in. If she's good enough, she won't make anything.
Yeah,
She won't break anything, so it's not
but
breaking in.
Why
It's
do
just
we have to break in when
It's
I
not-
can just?
Do you know what breaking in means, dear?
that's what-
Breaking in doesn't
it's
mean
a-
breaking
It's a figure
things.
of speech. If you just go somewhere you're not supposed to,
Yeah, it's against the law, breaking and entering.
but if you don't break anything and
She's
you're just
still
entering,
entering.
is it still
She's
like?
trespassing.
So how about this? Let's have some fun with this.
Mhm.
How about we send Eliana to knock on the front door,
Oh.
and then you can make Verity invisible, and she can climb in through a window.
I could also just. And she snaps her fingers and she turns into a dragonborn because she has disguise self.
Whoa, wait, whoa.
What is that going to do?
You-
How's that
He's going to
gonna
know
be
you're
useful?
there, and
Not unless he can see through disguises.
I've never seen you
Yeah,
use
but
this
so-
magic before. You look cool.
but again, and again, it's really weird that I'm the one to point this out. You can still be seen. So if you,
Can't
how are you
break
going to
in,
get
is
somewhere
what
that
his
you're
point.
not supposed to find out stuff about somebody we need to know?
Isn't it a public establishment though? People go to study there.
Exactly. I can go in
Yeah,
while
but there's
Eliana distracts him. I can look around.
And Jax is like looking around. It's like, why again am I the only one putting this together? There are probably things that he doesn't let the public get access to.
DM is like, go look at the secret room. And we're like, we don't want to be mean.
We're just. I'm just a girl.
No, we're just here to fucking go to different places in the towns in D&D, and that's all we're doing.
Go to all the libraries.
This is just fucking D&D Minecraft now. Like, we'll eventually get to the Nether at some point. but-
Do you want? But I'll go in sneakily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna go and dress as a dragonborn, but I'm still gonna sneakily be turned invisible.
Just,
I guess.
just make her invisible. I don't.
And then if
She
you
can be
get-
whatever she wants.
And then
just-
if you're caught and like you turn uninvisible,
Oh my
you
gosh.
won't be Verity.
You are so freaking smart. Wow, you
Thank
thought
you.
like 3 steps ahead before I was even. Yeah,
And she gives us side eye to Jack.
and Ira and Jax make eye contact of like,
Literally, all three of us were like,
that's not.
And Ira looks at Jax and just goes, while she's doing her voice, like, whoa.
Sure.
Someone's kissing up.
That's an interesting way to put it. In reference to the fact that, like, it's like, oh yeah, like if she gets seen, she's just somebody else. It's like, yeah, just somebody just out of nowhere, and it's just fine. Yeah. Oh hey, what's up, guy? Like,
Well, she can. She can run away and not say anything, and then they'd be like, "There's this dragonborn that broke into my house."
this
but it's
plan
not
seems
very-
great.
We're talking about this aloud in the fucking tavern.
Yeah, we're outside the tavern.
Yeah, we're
so
outside.
essentially,
We're just
like,
gonna break into this establishment. We're gonna do this and this.
Well, I'll guess I'll distract him while you sneak in.
You can tell him more about Velocitus.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
you watch and make sure if things go south, we deal with it.
Keep
And
that
don't
glove
die.
on your hand.
What?
Keep that glove on your hand.
I fully intend to.
Good.
I would assume that like all
Don't
year
let
would have
anyone
already
watch.
flown over.
Yeah.
Don't need anyone watching us.
Okay.
What happened?
Can I help you?
I'm just making sure.
Can you put
life's
your
not in
face back
danger.
on your face?
Excuse you. Where else would it have been?
It's fine. She's just a little tense.
Oh, okay.
What exactly happened last night? How did you get the eye on your hand?
I touched a piece of fabric.
And he said she touched this, and he like pulls it out of his like pack, and it's wrapped in like a
Torn piece of
part of a pillowcase, and it's essentially he kind of like unwraps a little bit, and it's like this like dagger that has like the cloth wrapped around the hilt.
I can track that if I have enough money.
The track, it's right here.
No, like I can track who left it.
What? Ooh.
Kind of.
How much
I
is
can
that?
Spy on
Ow.
them.
How much is that?
What the hell is that?
A lot of money.
Scrying. Because it's a piece of their belongings. It gives me advantage.
Interesting.
It gives me like a
Interesting.
bonus
Okay.
to scrying.
Okay.
How much?
1,000 gold.
Oh, I don't want that. Hey, DM, want to really cool it?
I knew there was a fucking catch. Hell no.
I have 738 pieces of gold if we would like to add up more money so we can scry on maybe
So
your
that
brother.
it's all gone? So we just use every single last bit of gold we have.
I don't know.
I could pickpocket if we really
I
want
don't.
to do it.
Did you actually steal a platinum bar?
No, you made me give it back.
I didn't know if you still stole one anyway.
No.
Oh, she was
I mean,
afraid for her life. You almost killed her for it.
Good.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, my patron had to bring me back from the dead. It was
It
wild.
kind of gave me a panic attack when you did that. But it's like I have to get this weird like gold encased vial that's worth 1,000 gold, but like it's reusable. So like once I have it, I can scry whenever, as long as I have the
We
resources.
will have
for
no
it.
money to do anything else with.
Yeah.
Is there a quest board? We can go kill some ghosts real quick.
Side quest to get money for the scrying.
Anyway,
Side quest?
should we go do this, I guess?
Yes.
If you want me to break in, I can break in.
I'm part of the team.
And Jack's,
You're going to be hanging back. I don't think you have any part in this plan right now.
I'm making someone invisible.
That's true.
So I'm
What,
sorry.
dear?
Sorry, that was. You're right.
Jax gives Elion the 300 gold and says for later. Don't do it right now. We'll handle this after you act as the decoy.
Where'd you get that from?
Don't you worry about
It's
it.
more than I have.
People kept giving me gold for shit.
Thanks, Jax.
You guys kept divvying it up 5 ways. So I was like, okay.
Oh, that's right. I do pay your bill everywhere we go.
Yeah, everybody just keeps giving me stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to hold on to it.
All right. Well,
But that being said, you take 1,000 away from your inventory.
I know, not yet.
I was
though.
saying, you don't
haven't
get
bought
to
it yet.
just hold on to that. And I'm like, oh, I got the tube now, guys.
I am the rules lawyer. If you think I wouldn't take it out of my inventory,
You've also played a rogue before.
That doesn't mean anything about me.
That's stereotyping. Anyway, so you guys make your way through the ware and head back to the Alderwood Athenium. And
We just need Sugar Mommy Cindy to send us some money.
We do actually, yeah.
She has a whole clothing line. She probably has something to spare.
That's true.
or life insurance money.
Calm down.
This is the energy you're putting at the table. I'm getting this from you, all of you.
Oh my god.
Life insurance. God.
The fucking well, their house did burn down too. They probably got some house.
I'm crying.
Any rate, you guys get back over to the Elderwood Athenium, or at least close enough, and says, "Okay, just so." And Jax is like, "So we're clear," because I feel like this is still a little half baked, or it's a little doughy in the center. What's the fucking plan?
So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna, do a little knock on the door, and I'm gonna ask, like, "Hey, can I come in?" And before I knock on the door,
Well, you don't have to. It's a public place. You can just go in.
well, I guess you're probably gonna turn her invisible, and then when I open the door, she's gonna follow in behind me, invisible, and then I'm gonna distract him.
Well,
there-
how long? How long does it go for?
I can give her an hour.
All right, that's fair.
Are there any windows?
Verity, go in through the front door, dear.
So much easier.
I'm asking the GM. I'm not saying it out loud.
Go in
Did you just
through.
argue with the narrator?
Just looking for exits.
It's like, who are you
They're all
talking to?
painted.
there's a second floor that essentially had the living space that had windows and things like that. Yeah,
Does it look unlocked?
from the ground level you can't tell. You'd have to go up there and find out.
Oh.
Say we haven't gotten that far yet.
Are you gonna make me fly?
See, half baked.
And before you go anywhere,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you here. Just, and I'm gonna.
Grab your whole head.
Like I said, this is the energy that's at this table right now.
Sparkly starlight hands. And I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability, so you have advantage on ability checks for dexterities for abilities. Dexterity abilities.
I'm sorry. Dexterity, you said? Advantage?
Yeah, dexterity ability checks.
On ability checks using dexterity.
Your stealth and sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Essentially the equivalency of pass without a trace.
Cool.
Sort of.
Yeah. Same vein.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, game faces, folks.
Oh,
And that's Jack saying this.
Let me just take a long rest just because I don't remember if I pressed the button or not.
I mean, essentially, you all should have. Yeah, you guys all did sleep. But okay. So, go ahead. Let's do this.
Uh-oh.
So you cast the spell, right?
Yeah. Sable's gonna walk over. Are we close to the area?
Yeah, you're close enough. Yeah, it's maybe you're was either than 5 or 10 feet. So you
Okay.
guys are close enough.
So
To obviously to not be
I
within
was
any
like, that's
window
pretty cool.
shot, but
Yeah, she'll literally just touch your shoulder, and then
We're in an
immediately you will turn invisible. You will stay invisible. She's gonna tell you you're gonna stay invisible as long as you don't fight anyone, don't hurt anyone, and don't cast a spell.
emphasis on the don't hurt anyone.
And the don't cast a spell.
The casting spell one is the one I immediately was like, okay.
Otherwise, you will not be, sneaky.
Okay. I'm not going to promise anything about what Jack said, but we're going to do this.
Okay. So, do you have to be touching the person to cast a spell on them?
Yes.
Okay.
I touched her shoulder, though.
Okay. So Jax is gonna kind of get close to the base of the building, and he's gonna essentially cup his hands, kind of just out enough with enough height, and says, "Okay, come on."
Why don't we just go through the door? Just follow me up.
She asked about a window. I don't know. Fine, whatever.
Who asked about a window, dear? No one's there.
She was looking at the windows.
She was looking at it. He looked at me funny.
All right, okay, so you guys,
Okay. Do you want me to go through the?
Go to the front door.
we're running out of time. Go through the front door.
Okay. Eliana, you first.
I open the door and I leave it open. I'm like, the fresh air.
Do you leave like enough room where Verity can like?
Yeah,
Like-
so you can get through.
Go.
Eleanor like comes in, like is essentially like in the like the first floor, and he's like, oh, welcome back. How can I help you, folks? Yeah, didn't expect to see you back here so soon.
Hi, yeah. I just really wanted to thank you for everything you did for my family. I was able to get them home last night.
Oh, good. That's good to know. Yes, I'm happy to help. Folks in need, I'm happy to assist. I suppose. From one elf to another, I don't see the harm in offering sanctuary, and I get it.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Feywild before as an elf?
No, I'm sorry, I have not. It'd be interesting to go at some point, but I have to stay. Make sure my son is good, and I'm trying not to
Of course.
rush away.
Yeah, I did kind of have
And she just like keeps like talking, trying to keep this guy
Yeah.
distracted.
While he's distracted, so essentially, you're able to move and kind of weave through different like things without because there's not many people in here. There typically usually isn't. So you get to essentially get to the ladder that kind of goes upstairs. For right, from what you can see in this room, there's no locked doors. There's no like kind of doors that go anywhere else. This is just like bookcases. Excuse me, shelves, bookcases, things like that. There's just really just that one kind of like stairway that goes up to the loft. So you go up the stairs.
I do go up the stairs.
You're gonna need to make a stealth check.
Advantage.
Creaky stairs.
Okay. 22.
22. So you're able to get all the way up the kind of the stairs in the essentially like the hatch to the loft is closed. You're gonna need to make another one to get the latch open, the hatch open without making any noise.
Sleight of hand this time.
Yeah,
around?
so be sleight of hand.
24.
Okay. You're able to kind of like very quietly, kind of like slowly creaks open, and you go inside. And then whenever you make another sleight of hand check, because you need to gently shut the thing behind you without making any noise. Because Kaylin is in the kitchen upstairs.
That would be a 27.
Okay.
Don't get cocky.
She has high dex. So you're able to shut it, just like without making much noise. The room at this like area itself, you weren't necessarily like exploring or looking around, investigating before. So make an investigation check as you kind of like look, or make a perception check at first, because you're not really investigating. You're just looking around.
26.
26. You look around and you see that this space looks like a typical like loft, like living space. There's like kind of adjoining rooms. There's doors that are kind of cracked open that you can kind of see like two different bedrooms and stuff that kind of like peer off. And then kind of as you kind of meander your way through, now make a stealth check.
Uh, 25.
25.
Ellie.
I don't like that one. I like this one, maybe. No. Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, Oh, that one made me happy. I like that one.
Damn.
All right. Hold on.
Back in Draclavore.
Can we go back to the first one? I don't like this one.
You make this stealth check for me?
Did I not just do that?
She did.
Oh yeah, what did you roll? I was
It was
switching the
27.
music. It was-
Thank you, 27.
so you rolled the 27, so you kind of sneak past.
It was a 25.
Oh, yeah,
It was
sorry.
25.
Sorry,
25
25
was the last
27 was
one.
the other
25 still works. You sneak past Kaylin, and you kind of like get into this like kitchen area, and you see that there's like a door that goes off somewhere, and you kind of initially kind of touch the handle, and it's locked.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The ring. Is that considered casting a spell?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it gives you the Misty Step spell. So that still does count. So you are not able to do that without being caught.
Losing invisibility.
But-
Not being caught.
So
Fair enough.
fair
Is there-
enough.
Is there a window upstairs?
Yes. But it's like kind of back where you came from, and it's in the like living space.
Do I? Okay, so I do have to see it. Got it. I was wondering if I could use Misty Step like without having to see where I was going. Do I have?
No, I know. That's what it is.
I was just gonna say we
you
have
can-
used it in the past.
I do
You
have-
can look through the keyhole of the door if you
Ooh.
want to try that and see if it works.
Well, now that you say it like that, yeah, I'll look.
'Cause I think that's what we've done before.
Yeah, probably. I think
That's how we've used
we
it
worked
before.
around it a little bit.
I also have thieves' tools too. If that doesn't work,
That's completely up to you.
I'll look through the hole first, and then if
Okay. I mean, you can see in through it into what looks like a from like very small first glance, essentially it's like pinhole size of like what you see. It looks like as if it's an office behind
But-
this door.
But Misty Step, regardless of if it's a use or if you cast it, it's still
A spell.
casting.
Correct.
Yeah. So you lose if you choose to Misty Step, you lose invisibility regardless.
well, my thing was if I don't have to see where I'm going, and it's 30 feet, I could just Misty Step outside.
And then fall 20 feet.
Well, it's 30 feet.
Yeah, but then you would fall because gravity is a thing.
Like,
She's not like a window.
But so just to be clear, you do not know if there's a window in this room.
I know. That's why I asked if there was a window in like the
Yeah,
common
yeah.
area. Damn, that's gonna require a spell.
I like it. It's
With the
tense.
maniacal laugh.
It's tense. It's meant to be a tense situation.
Like camping. No. Where's your water bottle?
I'm reading what I have in my equipment.
Okay.
Oh, I'm thinking about making because I have oil too. I'm thinking about creating a fire.
There
Of
it is.
course.
It's gonna be a distraction at least. And just
Burn down all the evidence. I'm not there.
That's what I literally just said to myself. Like, Ira is not there.
oh my gosh, no, I didn't think this through.
Obviously.
You have
Fuck it, I'll start a fire.
you have thieves' tools, but apparently, fuck it, I'll start a fire instead.
I love it. I love the energy.
Burn everything we need.
Yeah, I'll try to do thieves' tools. I'll go with plan A. After
Lawful neutral, not chaotic neutral. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. It's an advantage.
oh no. 27.
Okay. You, like, kind of slowly tinker. Now, you're going to need to make a stealth check as well.
I know.
Because
He's right
your
there.
tools ain't invisible, but you are. So you're essentially pulling out. So I'm not sure.
If she's holding it, like if she's making contact with it, it's also invisible.
But was she making? So essentially, it's like in one of her pouches.
Well, if it was
so
in
she
her
pulls it out.
pouch, yeah. If it was in like on her person when she was turned invisible, I believe it.
Okay.
is
All right.
invisible
All right.
for a reason.
Okay. The stealth check will count for noise.
I should look that up. I think that's how I've always
Does that look
had it
cocked?
ruled.
Like, from this angle, it doesn't, like, it's...
Roll again.
You got to respect the cock.
27 again?
Not that kind of show.
No, it's not. 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
though.
So you essentially like, and he kind of like, it's like here's like this small like almost like noise, but then doesn't think anything of it. And I'll use the same 27 for
Okay.
stealth. I'll be nice. You're able to kind of like open the door slightly enough without him noticing and kind of like in and then slowly close it behind you.
You could have used the oil to oil the hinges would squeak.
Oh, it didn't squeak. It's
I know.
a well-maintained door.
Yeah, anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you make it into this office.
Do I see anything that is, I'm referring to my notes.
At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary. It seems like an ordinary office, very surface level. So you can make an investigation check as you kind of look around.
Dang. That would be a 12.
12. It takes you a bit to look around and find things because it's very well hidden. There's a lot of things in this office that show they're books that have been acquired. These seems like different than the library downstairs. The books on the shelf are of Marian history, different memoirs of long dead nobles. And you see there is as you're looking through the different drawers of like this like kind of desk, you're kind of like slowly pulling them out and looking. 2 drawers like on opposite sides that would essentially look like they're the same width and shape. But when you like kind of pull one out and then you pull the other, there's something seems off between the two. So you're gonna make another investigation check for me, please.
I should have given you advantage on intelligence checks.
Oh, trust me, I needed it on Dex. Say with me, everyone.
21.
You notice that one of these drawers seems to be shallower than the other. As if there's like a false bottom.
I pull it.
So you kind of like push on the back and it like pops up. And underneath is a hidden ledger that reveals coded transactions. Donations from unnamed benefactors, purchases of obscure relics, shipments to unknown locations. All of which, there's the same symbol on kind of affiliated with each of them in all of them. It looks old, like old Elvish.
Not enough for me to understand it.
No, because I don't think you speak Elvish.
I do speak
You do
Elvish.
speak Elvish. It doesn't look like any like current, like almost like current version of like Elven. But yeah.
Okay. Is there anything like mainly specific, like a common theme with these relics and artifacts?
They seem to be centered, they're very historic. They seem to be like old. A lot of things that like even predates even the early like 100s of this era.
Put it in your bag and bring it with you.
All while this is happening, I do want, because I'm not going to make this easy. I'm going to make you roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
I'm not going to simulate the conversation, obviously, because you don't need to like random old nonsense.
Would I get advantage if we simulated? No, okay.
Just roll for persuasion to sort of like almost like keep his attention.
Okay. Okay.
Big dice, big dice.
Uh-oh.
That's gonna be, what's my persuasion? That's gonna be a 4. I rolled a 2.
Amidst your conversation, you sense that he's getting kind of tense.
No, wait.
Kind of getting like sort of like, I'm sorry, I'm very busy. I can't. I appreciate you coming by to talk with me.
Oh, you're busy, but don't you want more information about like the Feywild for your documentation? I know you've been looking for more information.
There's a lot documented on the Feywild. I do, but we specialize in keeping knowledge that is lost to the realm and the material. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge on the Fey as it is. A lot of scholars and things at Shalestone College and things that have kind of the word spreads.
Sable behind Eliana is like, well, what about the veiled one?
Where did you come
Did you?
from?
I've been inside.
You followed me?
Yes.
You didn't
Oh.
say that.
I don't think you said that. I don't think you said that.
No? Oh, I thought we all were inside.
Oh,
No. It was
Ira's
just
not
it's just
inside.
her going in by herself. But if you want to go in with
Wow,
her,
go in. I imagined I was in.
okay. So make a persuasion check.
If I knew we were doing this, I would have prepped your person.
Guys, stop using big dice.
But they're big. They're like
13.
13.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as mine.
Yeah, the big was bad.
I mean, a lot of the Sanctum of the Final Dawn has a lot of things around the Veiled One. I don't know what you can tell me that they don't already have records of, but
She's going to look at her tarot cards like, come on, girl. Do something. She ain't doing anything.
Do you know her real name?
do you?
Maybe.
Did you tell her the real name?
No.
Did
No.
you tell the group?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
My goddess did, but you
Yeah,
don't know
her
that
goddess
I know.
did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
I know
right.
that I know.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
So I forgot I did that.
he says, I guess I can take that information in case they don't have it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Then I don't know how much I can. I say again, I have a lot of other things to tend to.
Look, her and Flossidus are, they're meeting. They're discussing the new.
Oh, we got a cat on the kitty cam. Ellie.
He's like, what's going on?
Hi, baby.
So go ahead and make another persuasion.
Okay.
You can both do it essentially.
Okay.
Best idea ever.
Okay.
That was Journey.
19 plus 2.
25.
21.
25.
25.
Okay, we saved it.
So he says, okay, all right. And he gets he starts writing more things down. So back in the office,
I grab the ledger.
so you take the ledger.
I make sure there's no traps. And I take the ledger.
investigate.
I was very surprised
Investigation
you
check.
weren't checking this whole time. I was like, oh.
Investigation said.
Mm-hmm.
Say it with me, y'all, again.
21.
Drought is over.
It definitely seems to be sitting upon a pleasure plate. And on the front of the drawer, you notice a very small pinprick hole.
Oh no. Okay.
Aren't you glad you checked?
Can I like estimate how much? Because I have ball bearings.
Okay.
Can I Indiana Jones this and like guesstimate how much the book weighs and like try to like
He also called out there is a pin-sized hole.
I'm gonna move out of the way of the pin-sized hole. Oh. Where did you say the pin-sized hole
on the
was?
front of the drawer.
Exactly. So I just move and I just go to the side of the
So maybe the pin-sized hole.
No.
Nobody's
No,
there.
no.
Let her deal with this.
I don't want to have to revive her again.
What? Okay, hold on. You said the front of the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
Drawer,
Drawer.
okay. I'm a visual person. I'm sorry. I need this.
Okay.
Okay. Is it like, so that's a drawer. If I go on this side of the drawer, this is the front,
Uh-huh.
it's going to shoot out this way. It's not going to shoot out sideways at me.
Unless it's an
I mean-
area effect.
That's one theory.
I don't like the look.
Are we done with the drawer?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
God bless.
Oh. I was like, what's
I
that going to...
believe in you.
Did you forget about an ability you have?
I forgot that I have two thieves too.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what are you going to do with the thieves' tools?
I'm gonna try and disarm it.
There you go.
Wait, isn't that a trap
try
disarm
and
kit? Isn't that
disarm
something
That's
separate?
Baldur's Gate.
That's
Oh,
Baldur's
okay.
Gate.
Okay. Fucking Baldur's Gate polluted my mind.
I literally went to her character sheet and like tapped her proficiencies.
I was like, why are you pointing to the poisters? Oh no, it's that.
Everybody needs the little like. You need a D&D version of the
It's
little
okay.
paper clip that like pops up and says, "Hey, do you maybe want to try this?"
I'm gonna try and
Clippy.
Miss him.
So to use the thieves' tools,
I use the thieves' tools.
how do you use the thieves' tools? I'm interested to see where this goes.
I don't know the answer to that one, but I just know you can use it.
So, okay, make another investigation check.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Womp womp.
9.
I tried.
When you try so hard, but
You
you
don't
don't succeed.
Need a video of the dice and just like sad music in the arms of.
I rolled a 2, and then I got a +7, and I made it on 9.
I mean, at first glance, there's no mechanism or ways to get around the pressure plate on the side. But, and I'm really giving you this one.
Girl, do you have
It's almost as if the tiny hole on the front is a way to disarm the thing so that the person can take the ledger out on their own without causing anything to harm to them.
It's like those it's like those door handles that have the little key where it's going boop.
Or like on those like old like Mattel like digital things where it's like the reset button that's on the back of the things. That's where I was getting at, but we got there, folks.
It's okay.
It's
Poison
all right.
dart. I thought it was gonna be like a dart that shoots out. Okay.
Yes, a little sewing needle shoots out and stabs you in the little finger.
Surprise, it's Cindy! She's designed tiny ones.
I'm
It
going.
just says Minnows on the side of the drawer.
I'm going to press it.
So you're gonna use the thieves' tools, and I'm gonna make a sleight of hand check. How long does the enhanced ability work? Does it last for an hour or two?
It lasts for an hour.
But
Okay,
this
so
isn't
same hour, same
it's a
hour.
sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. Sorry, y'all. Allergies are killing me. 25.
Same.
25. Essentially, you take one of the tools and you kind of like stick it in the slot. It like kind of just barely fits. And you hear like a, and you're able to pick up the ledger, and nothing happens.
Ooh,
God damn it.
I slowly. I put something in it.
Like in the spot where it was, underneath the false bottom? Okay.
Yeah. Like,
To kind of simulate the depth that it was sitting on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and
you
then
read
I close them,
that. Okay.
and then do I see anything else?
That's all is what you've seen. I mean, you can look through some of the Marian books if you would like, just to see what they're about. But a lot of them are based around they seem very old. The spines of them essentially have like old Elvish,
Gotcha.
which some of them have old Elvish, but then you can recognize mostly out of it is based on history that you've learned and stuff like that. That you recognize the name Mar in certain situations.
What's the oldest book in here? I want to take it.
Yeah.
So on the 17th book on the third row of
It's
the
a
shelf,
7. It's a number. Sorry.
17th,
Still got this 7 in it. Anyway.
you just randomly pick up a book, and it has some things about Marian hearts, things around what seem to be weird rituals kind of about the Marian bloodlines, things like that.
I take it. I put it in my bag, and I get the heck out of there.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check real quick before you leave.
He's like, you missed one more thing.
You missed one more thing. The boys snuck in on you. You said perception?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a 16.
Okay.
Could be worse.
I don't know what you guys are thinking.
I don't like my thoughts right now.
Because of how old the books are and the bookcase, they don't seem to be the
Oh, no.
most clean people. There's a very clear indication of dust that was moved as you've moved and taken this book.
Just dust the whole room so they don't know.
Spend the next 30 minutes of your invisibility to clean the room spotless.
Like, whoa, what happened in here? It's so nice. It's so nice.
Verity just rearranges the books where it's just all of them.
Yeah, I like that.
It looks like it was purposely she's home editing it. She's rearranging them by so it looks like it's purposely been put in rainbow order.
Okay.
And then she's okay. Please.
Yes. But this makes it... They have to spend time now to figure out what books you took because you reorganized all the books.
How do you intend to leave this space?
I'm gonna sneak out.
Okay.
Through the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna look through the keyhole to make sure no one's coming.
And again, I guess I must have to defer this to you.
Hey.
If she picks up something, does it automatically turn invisible or no? So you're two floating
I don't
books.
know.
I would
put it
think
in my bag.
it's what's on her person.
Because if your bag is invisible and it goes in the bag, I feel like that's up to DM discretion. I don't know the rule on that.
In Harry Potter, it
With the
depends on the movie.
Can I tell?
I feel like the logic of putting it in the bag. But I don't know.
Can I tell that they're floating?
I mean, if you look down at your hands and you don't see your hands, but you see the books in your hand.
Oh no.
Yeah, anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person.
What about acquiring and picking up new items?
doesn't specify. That's the thing.
But it's on her person.
It's on me.
Okay.
You don't want it to work so badly.
He's like, I want a floating book.
So you essentially, so go ahead and make a stealth check, followed by sleight of hand.
Also, never asked if there was a window in the office.
There's not.
Stealth was a 25.
Mhm.
Jesus. And a dirty 20
Okay.
for sleight of hand.
I have some news.
What?
They changed it in D&D 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, no!
It just says a creature you touch has the invisible condition until the spell ends. The spell ends early, immediately after the target makes an attack roll, deals damage, or casts a spell. It says nothing about objects in this version. Just fucking nothing about objects in the new version.
That's what I read. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know about. That's what my thing said.
Your discretion.
Yes, we've gone with it thus far.
Damn, they were like, let's underpower the invisibility spell in our next version.
What's your passive perception?
20.
20? Okay. Which is fine. So as you kind of like make your way over the door and you kind of like slightly pull it open and you're stealthily kind of about to leave. And something like the glint of the light that kind of comes in through the door as you kind of open it because it's lit out there, but it's kind of darkish in this office. You see this like small like thing shine, and there is on what looks like it's covered under like a thin sheet in the corner, kind of sitting on this like dusty, what I guess would be a candelabra stand kind of thing. Is a very small glass orb underneath, and as you cross the threshold, with the two books in your hand, this little orb illuminates purple as you make your way out and shut the door behind you.
I thought it was going to be blue. I don't know.
Same.
I don't like that color. Okay.
Come on, all my Baldur's Gate fans.
I don't play Baldur's Gate.
Is it purple like my hand? Purple or purple like purple?
Yeah, what type of purple is it? Is it dark?
Purple like the color. folks.
Well, is it my purple or is it her dark purple? Is it black purple or is it purple?
Is it swirling?
It's just purple. Like bioluminescent purple.
It's a trap.
So you essentially leave. Now, go ahead and make a stealth check to make your way back to the hatch. Or are you trying to get to the living room to go out the window?
So, okay. So it says, so with Misty Step, it says like a mist surrounds me, so they would see the mist, I'm guessing.
I would, in theory, if you were to cast the Misty Step spell, that mist would form around you, allowing you to bam.
Yeah.
There would be a very split second where you would be visible before you leave the space. And I can have you roll for it. Or you can try to make your way out the way you came.
The chaotic person in me wants to do it through the window, but Ira told me not to cast spells, so I'm not going to cast spells. I'm going to be a good little rogue and
Okay.
listen to the paladin for once.
What would Verity do?
So go ahead and make a stealth check. And then you will do sleight of hand subsequently afterwards to make sure that
24 for what the first one.
stealth
you
would be
said.
first. Because essentially
What room is she in? She hasn't made it to our room yet, has she?
she's coming out.
22
22.
for the second one.
So you kind of quietly lift up the hatch and you kind of stealthily come out of the thing, of the loft, and you make your way down the stairs. Go ahead and give me another sleight of hand as you set the hatch back down.
By the way, thank you for doing dex and not intelligence. It's saved me so much. 27.
27. You're able to get the hatch down quietly. Now, moments before, Verity hit the stairwell of this loft, or this little staircase type thing. Eliana and Sable are talking to Elendor, and you notice something on his wrist. As midst of your conversation, maybe as a couple, maybe like 30 seconds to a minute before Verity hits the top of that staircase. Something on his wrist, kind of like facing out. It's almost like a little tiny gem. Illuminates purple on his wrist. Now, I'm going to need you to make a persuasion check to continue to distract him so that he does not notice this.
Only I had charm person. God, fuck. 4. Again.
To you, Sable.
Nope. 12.
Man.
Well, 12 plus 4 is 16, divided by 2 is 8, so
Wow.
that's the average.
You can do math that fast.
So
I don't know why I do our taxes. He should be the one doing them.
you essentially, you're talking, and he kind of like looks down and notices something, and then with your passive insight, you notice that he now seems visibly angry. And
I have a 15 passive insight. Do I see that?
yes, he
Okay.
essentially, his kind of like hand is like tightening around the quill in his hand. And he looks at the two of you and says, I'm sorry, remind me again. And you see this like demeanor in his voice change. Why the two of you have decided to bring me information today?
I was just coming because you helped out my family and I dropped them off last night. I didn't get a chance to properly thank you. And then we got caught up in, all the lore that I've been through.
But you thanked me yesterday before you left with your family.
I felt like I should have thanked you again just because you really did help save them, keep them safe.
And I came in because last time I was here, I got kicked out of the door and told that we should leave, as a group. So I was just kind of curious on what that meant or why they were talking about it that way.
Who did this?
Was it the child?
It was.
Was it the child?
The cutie patootie.
My son.
Yes. Our friend.
And he closes the book in his hand. Says, if you excuse me.
No.
And he
Oh,
Okay.
Shit.
What are you going to do?
Well, now I'm scared. I'm trying to buy Verity time.
Yeah.
So, no, I demand an explanation.
And I will go get you one. And he turns.
I'm
Very-
coming with.
Make a persuasion check.
What
Good
dice
vibes.
to be nice to me?
Good vibes, good vibes.
Okay. 22.
Ooh.
What was the dice roll?
It was a 16.
16. Okay. So you essentially, it's almost as if he doesn't argue against it, but doesn't necessarily try and stop you either. So he essentially just begins to walk towards the stairs. And he gets to the bottom of the stairs as you close the hatch and turn around and see him coming up the stairs in your direction.
Okay. How far away is the door from this point?
I want to say, given the size of the space, the doorway,
Have you Misty Step yet? Did you use
No.
it? Okay.
Mm-mm.
You're still
the
invisible. Okay.
threshold itself is about 25 feet away.
And I can see it.
You can see it. The door is closed because Eliana had left the door open and Sable followed behind, shutting it. But there are windows. So essentially, you could see through the windows on the other side of this wall.
I'd also like to clarify that I have not followed like Sable has. I'm trying to maintain the illusion that I'm here just to thank him, like for my family, like because I wasn't there when you guys were kicked out. So I'm trying to maintain that separation to not be
Okay.
suspicious.
I'm going to Misty step out the door as soon as I see them.
Okay.
I'm going to take that chance and try and stealthily do it.
Go ahead. Roll for stealth. See if your luck has ran out.
Thank you, by the way. 29.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
29.
I'm so scared.
Now
Me too. I rolled an 18 and a 1.
okay. So I'm gonna go with your 29 stealth. Okay. So he rolled below a 10 for perception. I'm not gonna add any like modifiers or anything because I don't have a character sheet for it. But all things considered, I think your 29 would beat it regardless. So in this moment, there's this like faint, like almost like it sounds as if like it's kind of similar to the sound of like an ear, like when your ear like kind of unpops.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of like as this, and I'll say, go ahead and roll for perception. Fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
did I hear?
Roll for perception.
Okay. Oh man, I hope I heard it. 22.
22?
Got it last. Yeah.
So he rolled 15 without any modifiers.
You already rolled a 10 to see if you heard it.
No. That was to see if he saw her like uninvisible before she vamped out. This is for as this happens, because you said a little bit of mist surrounds you before.
I'm pretty sure that's how the spell works.
Right. As you do this level, a little bit of like precipitation, kind of like this moisture kind of like hits the top of the stairs, as if like somebody like sprayed one of those like spritz bottles and like a little bits of droplets of water hit the stairs, and these are wooden stairs.
Yeah.
You notice, because essentially he kind of goes up the stairs and you're following behind him, and you see this like, because like, you know how like when you like spray something, you can see like the droplets fall.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very like, only if you're paying attention to it, you would see it. He doesn't see it, but in this moment, he turns to look at you behind him. And he says, and you hear it, and it's like, it's almost as if like he has like 3 different voices like layered on, and says, "Go!" And he pushes to you with his hand. I need you to make an acrobatics check for me, please.
Oh no, I'm weak. $17.
17. This essentially is the equivalency of the power word spell. And essentially, like, puts his hand out, and because of how close you are, essentially it does shove you physically. But you are able to catch your step, like, behind you. But now you have this unfaltering compulsion to just leave. And you turn around and you walk straight out the door. You breeze right past Eliana and just leave. And he looks at you,
What's
and then-
going on?
goes up the stairs and shuts the hatch. And you hear like a...
Why did I have the urge to be like, I read his books? No.
That's Cindy.
But as you kind of stand there for a moment, and you feel and you sense like this weird like quiet in this space. And you hear above you the sounds of like crashing,
Don't.
things tossing around, yelling.
Where's the sun?
He's upstairs still. And you don't hear any sounds from the sun. So this isn't like
Yeah.
Okay.
like beating the sun moment. I'm gonna be clear
I
on
was
that.
like, you fucking tattletaled on the sun, and I was like, oh no.
But you sense that there's things being tossed around.
Yeah.
And you hear like this like crashing noises and like muffled yells that are kind of inaudible.
I don't know why I'm looking at my character sheet. Like,
Oh, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
I'm just gonna listen. I want to see if I can hear with my little elf ears if this man says anything like incriminating.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Like, dude just fucking left me in here, so I mean, 19.
Don't really hear anything you can't really
Okay.
make anything out.
So,
And you hear this like one more crash before you see something kind of like on the wall in front of you, like kind of like almost like essentially directly like from like where the doorway is on like all the way on the opposite wall. And there's like a series of kind of like runes like coming up from behind the bookshelf and kind of like going in a circle. And it like shoots out. And I'm going to need you to make
okay.
He was like, leave,
I'll say
bitch.
dexterity.
Okay.
Might be dexterity, yeah. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
That's an 8.
You, essentially as if you were hit by like an immense gust of wind, are like blown back and you kind of tumble as you fly out this front door, kind of like somersaulting as the door like slams shut. And you see this level, like the shades in the windows being drawn, and almost as if this door shuts, and there's like this like purple, like purplish blue sigil kind of on the door handle now.
A closed sign.
That as a magic user, you would know that that's an arcane lock.
Okay.
Well, I suppose we've overstayed our welcome. Hey, Sable.
I can see
So
her out there
essentially,
now.
you all are
Hey,
back.
girl.
Like Verity is like off to the side where Ira and Jax are.
I would say we're probably a good like
And so
50 to 80 yards away. Like we're not close
you
to the
just
building.
moved away.
Yeah.
Sable's long gone. Sable had just kept walking. There was no compulsory to stop at all. She walked
Is it-
right past you and Jax. And
Is
just
it
kept
like the
walking through
guy in the
city.
dungeon at the school that's still walking into the wall?
I mean, that's probably ended. But
This is so stupid. This is so dumb. Can I,
I think Ira would have followed Sable.
okay.
Would have like called after her.
You said the windows are shut. Can I see through into the house at anywhere?
No, all the shades are drawn.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna leave. I'll take this as my note to leave.
Okay.
I was gonna try to misty step.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I had to find my saves page. Oh, it's not very good. 19.
Okay. So you 19, you essentially like stop in the middle of the street and you're out of breath. And kind of almost confused as to why you're all the way over here, as the rest of the group slowly starts to catch up and make their way through the city to get closer to you. And you all now are back together as a group.
What happened?
That man was not as inviting as he was the first time we met him.
I
Can I buy
got
you time?
no. I got two things. I got a ledger with like, and she's like,
That tracks.
Mic drop.
we're gonna hold it now, y'all. Okay. Sorry, headphone users. No, it's like a hidden ledger, and it's like Kodak, like it's all transactions, from like unknown benefactors, but it was like it had your symbol on it, with like it was like artifacts and relics from like
Does Verity pull this out?
yeah.
Don't do that. And she like
It
looks around
slowly-
to see if like anyone has like clocked what she's just pulled out. Like,
Slowly puts it back in her bag.
did anyone see that?
You hear the whispers again in your ear. And
the voice familiar?
no,
Okay,
it's undiscerned whispers. Like it doesn't make it like
Thank
words
God.
you can't make out.
lovely.
And the book that you're holding in your hand,
Don't.
like it almost like crumbles to dust as you're holding it.
All that work.
And you see on the glove that you're having, the eye has burned itself through the glove.
I'm gonna press digitation it so it's a single piece again.
Okay.
Well, sorry, y'all. I'm not gonna bring the other book out, but I did steal another book. On
And you kind of like go to tap your like bag, and it doesn't feel like it's in there.
So wait, the ledger disintegrated a second ago?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And the other book I grabbed.
Because as you feel it, you kind of like you almost like look inside of it, and it's like this dust
Huh.
that floats up out of it.
Okay. So I'm guessing they're mad about me rainbowing their books.
What?
You could. It's this new system that I heard makes everything look pretty, and the dust was all. You could tell I took something. It's.
Yeah.
None of that was audible, so your
Yeah,
song did
you're-
not just
you're-
cut out. She cut out audibly.
I rearranged them, and I better just.
Starts crying.
I tried my best, yo.
It's okay.
It was a thing, and it was a thing.
It's not your fault it disintegrated. It's okay.
Ira looks at Jax. What was the point of that? That was your idea. What was the point of it?
Well, he didn't know that was gonna happen.
What was the point?
I didn't know it was gonna happen.
How did we get any closer?
Well, he
So,
found out he's a
because of
bad
what?
man.
Yeah. We confirmed he's a jerk.
I mean, the dude
These
had
things are accurate.
other like books and all about like old like dead
we
nobles.
can't do anything about that now.
But he had like nobles about from the Marian Empire, like memoirs.
Great. We can't do anything about that. We can't go back in there.
I mean, no,
Unless-
but this dude's definitely tied to like something. Like it was all Marian crap up there.
What are we supposed to do?
I mean, do you think we should
Go
don't-
back? No.
to Port of Mar? You know, start where it all started.
That's not where it all started.
Well, yeah, but it's where it ended.
Arguably, but
There's probably some.
Would you be safer there?
no.
Well, this place is messed up, so. This
Yeah,
is
that's
the
what
most.
you get when you get this many religions in one place.
So-
Mm,
Where do you want to go then?
Home. And then not leave. Again.
oh,
Ever.
Okay, well, I mean, we can go to Portimar.
I mean, don't give up.
Did I say that?
No.
I don't want to leave.
You don't want to leave your home.
Correct. Does that mean I'm going to leave? Probably. Doesn't mean I want to leave, though.
I'm
Dude.
sorry things are hard for you.
oh.
What? Hey, Sable.
That's great.
Soundbite.
What does your veiled one say about? Did they say anything about this? Can you do a reading again for Ira?
I mean, I was a little iced out earlier when I asked her for help, but
I mean, can you just do a reading? Do you know how to do that?
kind of, but not really.
Okay. How do we leave? I want to leave.
Well,
Leave the where?
And go where?
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
You're so over our
Not going
stuff.
to entertain it.
You named it.
I feel like I might be able to snag something for that scrying, and we could maybe try and locate your brother if he's causing all this. I don't know if that might be our next step. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's a real logical step.
I can't tell if that's supposed to be an insult or a compliment.
So actually, growing up, everyone said that. I think it's just my inflection. People just think I'm mean.
Maybe you should work on that then.
Oh my god, maybe I should work on that then.
Sounds like a you problem.
Whoa,
Okay, y'all.
that was sassy.
I mean, she insulted me. But yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have got
Did
sassy
I?
back. Yeah, for me, it was insulting.
What do you need?
I need basically a gold engraved vial worth a lot of money.
Where do we get one of those?
I don't know. I figured we could probably go to the market, see if they have some.
They didn't have any maps at the Welcome Center, so
Well, it's worth a try.
Okay. So are you going to go alone, or are you going to go with the group?
I'm going with her.
Okay. So you all are going to the market.
I'm gonna go to the market. I'm gonna try and see if I can steal one for her if I can.
Oh my god. Dude, imagine stealing 1,000 gold item. DM.
Come on.
He's pissed. He's mad. He's
Is it still within the 1 hour?
Oh, is it still within the 1 hour?
No. So you all go to the market, and you are unsuccessful in stealing anything of that nature,
Damn.
and you spend some time getting a gold vial. It takes a time for something to craft it, as well as you.
He said, I'm not entertaining.
So you find like a smith, like a weaponsmith and stuff, and is able to kind of melt down the gold and give you that vial, and with that engraving on it that is, I assume, is for divination magic.
Yes.
So go ahead and take that 1,000 gold out of your inventory. And
I got 38 gold to my name.
sorry, I only have like 93 now. So now that you have this vial, it took some time. You guys essentially just kind of perused the market and walked around, and was able to kind of just to take in Luer a little bit, as you guys were kind of getting your bearings, and now it's kind of late into the evening. It's kind of getting towards I'd say it's just a little bit past dinner time. You know, it takes some time for something to be smithed, be melted down, cooled enough to kind of hand it off to somebody without it being burned or something like that. And as the sun sets, you'll get used to it. And you find yourselves back at the tavern. And what is your plan to scry?
Do you guys want to do this in
In a room, please.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do it in...
I just know you were attacked in the inn. So
Where am I going to sleep? A tree?
maybe.
I'm not Dawn.
Why don't you sleep in our room? So that way, if they
Sleepover?
attack, they attack everyone.
I don't think it's going to matter, guys. But whatever.
I mean, a lot of us are better than
And
one.
she looks to Jax to
we can take
kind of
shifts.
have him make a decision for her.
Well, let's go to somebody's room and do whatever the hell you need to with this big casing, and then we can figure out sleeping arrangements after, I guess.
Okay.
So
we-
our room, because all three of us stayed in the same room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So essentially, all five of you kind of go into your guys' room, and so you essentially initiate the scrying spell.
So what that looks like, I guess, for
Mhm.
Eliana, is she's going to take the bathing basins that they have.
Mhm.
If they have a portable one or a bucket she can pick up.
Yeah.
If there's a window, she's going to fill it with water and then set it under the starlight.
Okay.
And she's going to dip her vial in it and fill it with the water and whisk it around, in the starry reflections.
Okay.
She's going to start kind of meditating in her scrying.
So you see this,
Oh, and I hold on to the cloth as well.
the dagger and stuff.
Can I touch this?
So yeah,
I
so
don't know.
you hold the dagger and nothing happens.
Okay.
Essentially, as you're doing so, you see in this pool of water there is a hooded figure, kind of walking through the city.
This city that we're in.
The city that you're in,
Great.
and they're walking through, and they're coming out of what looks like a back door to the Alderwood Athenaeum. And there is a symbol on the back of their cloak. It's in like the same kind of like lime green kind of design as you've seen before, Ira. But only in what seems to have been a dream. You saw this before in the nightmare that Thanatura had put you through. And you all see the symbol on the back of the cloak.
Mm.
And in the center, of course, is the eye.
Mm.
And you all watch as this person seemingly kind of walks through Luware. And how long does the scry last for?
Well, I just want to say thank you for all the information you've given me because it's a saving throw and you never asked me to.
To make the saving throw?
I was like, okay.
All right.
But so, right, because it's something, it's like they
For
notice.
storytelling reasons.
They notice, like, the scry if you fail, right?
It says on a successful save, the target isn't affected, which means I wouldn't have been able to scry on them. And you can't use the spell again for 24 hours against it. But on a failed save, the spell creates an invisible, intangible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see and hear through the sensors if you were there. The sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. If something can see the sensor, it appears as a luminous orb about the size of your fist. So, like the purple orb that was in his office.
So for a moment, he's walking through the city and kind of seemingly unaware that they are being watched.
Does the anything about the person seem familiar at all? Anyone that I
sort
would've-
of in height or build, but nothing like super familiar. It almost seems generic because it's from the back.
Does she cross-reference that? I think she would try to cross-reference that with who she thought she saw a couple nights prior. The guy from
They're
the
not
ship.
the same.
They're not the same. Okay. Or at least
So are we
she
saying-
assumes
Or at least
it's
from
not.
what you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a profiler by any means. I mean,
Well, no, but she would at least, she thought she saw this person.
yeah, but this is like a small image.
The
It's
answer
hard
can
to-
be no. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying no. It's hard to tell heights and stuff from just like a small image in water reflections and stuff.
So we're saying that everyone can see this?
Yeah, essentially in the water pool.
Cool.
It's like on like it's sitting on this like window ledge. Like you all are like cuddled around it and stuff.
Cool.
And as the figure kind of is moving through the city, kind of quietly, kind of in the cover of night in the shadows, the figure almost like kind of stops in the middle of the road. And essentially, just like a quick turn with the hand, and the image is cut off.
Okay. Well, they know we are spying.
Good.
Cool.
Well, at least we know what they're wearing.
Did anything in there before it cut off? Did it look like outside of the tavern or anything?
It looked nearby. It wasn't the tavern itself.
I'm also assuming they have the ability to see invisible things because my little spy orb, they're not supposed to be able to see it.
Ira looks out the window to see if she just sees the person outside the window, just walking by.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
But as you look out the window, you see this. It's almost as if you're looking out into like a dark abyss. Like a black. It's almost like if you're looking over the ledge of something into like a large
And it shouldn't.
a large chasm. Correct. Similar to that of like the visions you were seeing before of just like things that aren't there, random places.
She like just Sable. It's supposed to be that dark outside?
It's
And you
kind
see
of creepy.
just the normal street.
Oh, I see a normal street?
Yep, you don't see anything weird. And yours kind of flashes like almost as if your eyes are adjusting to the darkness. It kind of looks like the normal street, and there's nothing out there. No
It wasn't dark.
individual.
Was it dark for you? What was that? Was it dark for you?
No, I just figured, just for like shits and gigs, that I would say it's super dark outside.
You're just as sarcastic as me, and I love it for you.
Are you okay, Ira?
Nope. So what's the game plan?
Get you out of
Maybe
here.
we should prepare for something.
Should we leave?
We should probably
Oh.
get out of here.
Don't
Are we
have
leaving?
horses?
Oh my gosh,
We
we,
have
do have
horses.
horses.
Oh my god, you
Did
do
you
have
leave them any
horses.
somewhere in the where?
Yeah.
You guys came in on foot.
No, we came in on the horses.
You did come in on the horses.
We did.
Are they still at the observatory?
Oh my god.
No, they're not at the observatory. I think you guys
We'd left them
somewhere.
somewhere intentional to be
I
taken care of.
believe so.
I like how no one remembers though. They're like,
If we didn't, then by all means.
Because we have a horse for
Give a shit
stable.
in the comments.
Because Dawn doesn't. I don't think Dawn took her horse.
Technically, we have 2 horses.
Oh.
We could sell one to give that money to Eliana.
That is true.
Why?
Because you're broke.
You just spent 700 of your own gold on
Well, yeah.
something for me.
Well, it can help all of us in the long run. Anyway, that's not important right now. We're in danger.
So you essentially, Ira, you kind of, as if you're kind of like turning to somebody like next to you, essentially like one of the other party
Mhm.
members that's standing next to you. You turn and you see yourself in this like a large, dark library. The others don't seem to be around you. And there's a shadowed figure that's kind of like whispering. You have been chosen. The past calls to you. Come, and we shall let the blood rain as it rightfully should.
Is the voice familiar?
No.
Okay.
If you're going to keep asking me that, it's never going to be.
I am going to keep asking that.
And then you hear, you are being summoned.
To where?
See, you do it all the time. I told you. Come willingly or be taken.
Now, this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where to go.
You essentially, you try to respond, and as this, like, you kind of, like, open your, like, you kind of, like, essentially, like, turn back again as if you're trying to turn to the person that was next to you, and you see you're back in this room, and you hear footsteps approaching outside of the door. And all of a sudden, all of the lights in the tavern go out. All the lanterns and everything, and it's now pitch. It's like night, like darkness is enveloping this room. And you see,
Starlight's coming in though.
yeah,
But my dark
Sure.
vision.
you as with dark vision, I can see that this room is
I
like
don't-
it's like normal, but there is steps getting closer and closer, and it's now more than one pair of footsteps of like sounds.
All yours going in the box.
And you hear them stop outside the door, and you just hear the word. It seems you hear you all of a sudden you it just goes silent, and then the door like busts open, and you are all now incapacitated as you hear the words, like in an echoey, like stun.
Did I
And
get a save?
not with the power word stun. That's an 8th level spell there, dude. And you now are all like frozen in place, essentially, like stunned.
It's my turn to get stolen.
Damn.
And these hooded figures wearing this like kind of like their face is like covered like either like a mask, like small like bits of a mask are shown through like the shadows, Only really you can see that, like with the dark vision.
Dark vision only works in dim lighting. If it's completely black, I do not see anything.
Oh, okay. Then you don't see, none of you see this at all then. And you just hear, and Ira really only hears this. Everybody else is kind of like hearing these whispers or in a language that is not understood. The eyes of Dendia see your blood, and we do not turn a blind eye. And Ira is subsequently like lifted up by some of these people in these cloaks and carried out of the room as you all are and like Jax is trying to like kind of like yell essentially, but it's just as if every muscle in all of you, like all your muscles in your bodies are unable to move and words aren't able to form. It's just like muffled noises. And that's where we're going to go to break.
Okay.
We will see you back after the break for what happens next. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. But now that you're here, just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us on this journey so far with us here at Off the Beaten Quest. You're going to start noticing a lot of new things on our Twitch channel now that we are affiliate. You will see a lot of cool emotes designed by our very own Caroline, as well as a lot of other things that we do have in the works. Definitely hit that follow button, or maybe even subscribe so we can bring you a lot more. And do remember, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can use your 1 month free sub. If you're watching on YouTube, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification button so the YouTube algorithm gods will share this video with a lot of other people like you. Thank you so much again.
My name is Allie Goodell, and I am part of the filmmaking team on this podcast. I play Eliana Silmare. She is an Eladrin elf druid. She actually comes from a family of druids, and she is originally from the Feywild. Her family worships a goddess named Florenia. This was her whole world, was Florenia, was learning about Florenia and the balance of nature and eliminating abominations and the balance of just the world in general. But then when her village was attacked, she ended up going to the material plane, and things were not as they originally seemed. She kind of realized that she was indoctrinated as a child, and so as of right now, her character is still kind of naive, but she's constantly learning about the world around her and trying to figure out what her place is in the world when she finds out her whole religion has basically been a lie. I think one thing specifically to Eliana is that throughout her experience on the material plane, she's been struggling with finding what is right and what's wrong, the truth to things. So her trying to formulate that balance and how she fits in life, I think, is very important to her character. And so seeing the way she interacts with her new goddess, Flossidus, and just the world around her is interesting to me. This cast of characters is definitely something. I feel like there is a lot of chaos, but usually that tends to happen in a lot of D&D campaigns. I feel especially with Dawn and Lukiel's shenanigans, things get a little crazy, and that can be really entertaining. And I also feel like there are some great emotional moments between characters as well. I think there's a great balance that people are gonna love. You can find us at Off the Beaten Quest on all podcast platforms, as well as Twitch and YouTube, and you can also find us on our social medias.
Hi, I'm Allie Fussell. I am doing all of the marketing, project management, keeping everyone on track to get Off the Beaten Quest out into the world. I play level 8 paladin fighter Iratan. She is an unconventional paladin. When I built her, she's my first campaign character. When I built her like my favorite gaming characters. So she can kind of do a little bit of everything. She specializes with a longbow and 2 daggers, so she's pretty lethal at distance and up close. She also has a good bit of emotional stuff, which I think the audience can pick out pretty easily, where she loves her friends and her family deeply, but the way in which she does so is not always the way in which they are open to receiving. So she's having to learn and navigate a lot of that. She also has a companion that is a homebrew race called a hop owl. That's half rabbit, half owl. His name is Alyer. And is also in a relationship with an NPC that our DM / my husband created named Jax. So you'll get to hear all about that. So in the first few episodes, there are a lot of moments that are very interesting for Ira. One of them is a very special moment with Alyer where he has to make a choice on what his next steps will be. In addition to that, there's some pretty gnarly emotional turmoil that Ira navigates with one of her party members that I think will be interesting for everyone to hear and to listen to get some insight into her backstory. I think the audience is going to find someone in this cast that they relate to, whether it's someone that's just goofy and likes to have a good time, whether it's someone that's serious, that's trying to learn how to loosen up, or whether it's just someone that completely understands who they are and accepts themselves for that. While they might still feel like an outcast, they'll find a bit of themselves somewhere in this campaign and in this cast. You can find us on all major podcast streaming platforms, in addition to YouTube and Twitch, and all social media, which is linked in the caption right down here.
Hi, my name is Caroline Daher, and I am the in-house artist for the podcast. In the campaign, I play Sable Vale. She's a level 9 human grave cleric, and she is flirtatious and theatrical, and she really is just trying to live her life to the fullest, like consequences be darned. And something important for the listeners to know before kind of diving into Sable is that she has a different relationship with her deity, where her deity and her kind of communicate through her tarot cards and through like shuffling on their own and kind of shooting out into the universe like her opinions. When my character is introduced, I would kind of keep an eye out for right before it, where our DM kind of like hints at my entrance, because there are kind of like little secrets in there that he set up for everyone to realize later on when we rewatch the episodes. As far as this cast and characters, myself included, I really love 2000s rom-com movies, and if you picture the movie Mean Girls, where there's a cafeteria and there's a whole bunch of lunch tables, and each table has a different clique, a different group, this table that we're playing in kind of has a picked person from each group, and we just all mesh and blend together, and it's so seamless and so dynamic. You can find us here on all major podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube and Twitch, and check out our socials linked below.
Hello, my name is Sarah Matlack. I'm kind of a flex role, and so I kind of jump from task to task, just wherever people need me, I'm there. I play a red tiefling named Verity Belladonna. Verity is a rogue warlock, kind of in the trickster fiend area, which can make things quite interesting. Verity does have a mother and a little sister. Her mother is Ilma and her sister is Nadine. She also has the blue human eyes. One of the cool things about Verity is that she is showing as a tiefling, but her mother is actually human. And so one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we had for her character art and everything was that she had blue human eyes, just so we could have both representations of her father, who was a red tiefling, and her mother, who is human. We are a rowdy bunch, and I feel like with each character there's going to be someone you can connect to in a way. And that's another thing I love about this group, is that you can find a way to connect to them. Whether it's through an emotion scene, whether it's just getting drunk at a tavern, or climbing a tree. You just never know. Dreams can show someone your truest desires as well as your darkest fears. And so I would keep an eye out for those dreams and visions, because you might see him pop up every now and then throughout the series. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including our Twitch, YouTube, and other social medias.
My name is Justin Fussell. I am the game master for Off the Beaten Quest. Outside of being the game master, I do a lot of writing, world building, filmmaking. Me and my wife, we run Imagistorm Productions together. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun just incorporating a lot of the world building and writing that I do into this, building this campaign overall. It's been really interesting to kind of take the filmmaking background and kind of apply it to being a game master, because essentially a lot of like the players are the actors and you're setting scenes and you kind of just let them freeform in the space versus just any like preconceived dialogue. So it's a lot of fun just to kind of see, you put the situations in their hands and just kind of see what they come up with. I enjoy playing D&D with this group because they're like my found family. It's been, I love everybody that sits at this table. It's been a lot of fun to just be able to kind of build this world with them together. A lot of the way I incorporate this with a lot of the players and the story and stuff has been a lot of collaboration, seeing how their stories intertwine with what I have planned and vice versa. It's going to be a very interesting to see how the people receive everybody. Everybody's got its own different flair, and the way that this team is made up of very colorful characters, I think everybody's going to love them. They're going to find something to laugh with and have fun with, and it's going to be really good. In the campaign, I play a lot of the different NPCs, of course, but the main one that I play is Jax. He's a fighter monk druid, and he came from a tribe of changelings that existed in the Fey realm and kind of had some backstories with different things and different interconnected characters. He's become a love interest and boyfriend of Ira's character. And if you want to know more about Jax's backstory and kind of how it's interconnected with the whole story, you can always check out the prologue. I chose to do a homebrew setting versus an existing campaign just because it was something where I could kind of really just expand and create a universe. I wanted to have something that I can build upon. I honestly like to be able to throw twists and stuff at the players. I think that's the biggest thing I think is really fun. There's a lot of ideas of what's going to happen, where things are going to go. Just as much as they can improv in a setting, I can do the same, and it kind of allows for a lot of really good back and forth. Definitely, if you've checked the prologue, there are some things that happen in episode 62 that is a little bit of an Easter egg that even the players haven't figured out yet, which has been really nice. But it's going to come back around eventually, and it's going to be a really big aha moment. But I think that's one of the biggest things to look out for. It'll be a very blink and you'll miss it kind of moment. But other than that, just being really on the lookout for a lot of just the backstory and the things that how this is going to be building up to as we get into the next arc of the campaign. So they can find us on any of the major podcasting platforms, as well as our social medias and Twitch and our YouTube. All right, welcome back. We are back from the break. And now, Ira being taken. Just gonna take this away. Okay, because there was something that was supposed to happen beforehand. Okay, so let me pitch the vibe to all right. So, Ira, you awaken on cold stone. The scent of damp parchment, ink, and burning resin filling your lungs. Essentially, the room is just, it's dark, it's damp, it's
Do I have Awyer's box?
arguably uncomfortable. I think I would almost want to say that like the box that you put him in was almost like on one of the counters, so it didn't like get taken with you. It was just kind of like separate from your stuff.
So Jax has him.
So Jax has him.
Okay.
So a single torch kind of flickers overhead. It's like pale green flame kind of. The casting kind of like eerie shadows along like the large, like, towering bookshelves that seem to be carved from, like, petrified wood. The ceiling, vaulted and lined with intricate, spiraling runes, seems impossibly high. Yet something about it feels enclosed.
Mm-hmm.
As if the weights of an ancient history pressing down upon the chamber. So you see, you're kind of in this, like, cathedral kind of space. Its architecture is unmistakably reminiscent of the Elderwood Athenium. And it's like, but it seems to be in a different spot. Much more older, a little more pristine, less aged as the other place was. The books and scrolls that kind of line these endless walls are not mundane tomes of history or magic, but scriptures of the fallen Marian Empire. Bound deep in crimson leather, their spines embossed with, like, the sigil of an eye. It seems like archival in a way.
Does the eye match the hand tattoo?
Similar. Yeah,
Okay.
Similar to the symbol you guys saw in the scry. Just a bit of context, essentially, as you were taken away, you kind of blacked out, and you were now, like, had awakened in this space.
Yeah, I figured.
A ring of hooded figures kind of stands encircling you, kind of in this space. Their faces are obscured by silver, kind of misshapen masks, and they all have pointed ears. The masks are reflecting the torchlight in a dull, kind of unnatural glow, and the air is silent, and it feels suffocating. Yet the air hums with kind of a distant chant. It's low, very much rhythmic, and spoken kind of like this rhythm of, like, spoken in the following cadence of, like, ancient elvish.
Do I understand any of it?
It seems unfamiliar to you. Something you might have heard from your grandfather, but nothing in reminiscence. At least that's the only thing that, like, you would maybe potentially tie it to, but nothing that you can understand. At the chamber's far end is a massive stone altar that kind of dominates this space. Its surface is carved with kind of some pulsating runes that are flickering in time, kind of along with the chanting that's happening in this room. Upon it lies another figure, an emaciated scholar, gagged and bound, their robes bearing insignias similar to that of the college.
Am I bound in any way?
No, but you're still afflicted by this, like, the same stun that you were stuck from before.
So even if I try to move, I can't?
No.
Okay.
The person on this altar, the eyes kind of wide with terror, they're darting between you and the figure that's standing above them. You recognize this person to be none other than the Professor Godry Boldust from Shalestone College.
The map in his office on the wall?
No. This is the divination professor
Yeah.
that Cindy was in contact with, and it's no longer, like, it kind of vanished. At the foot of the altar stands Elendor Varshana. His expression is unreadable as he gazes down at you. He says, and kind of addressing you, but kind of looking at the others in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The other blooded heir. The second key to Marian's rebirth. And he, in his hand, holds this sort of, like, what looks like a ritualistic dagger. It's blackened silver blade, kind of engraved with these, like, twisting runes that seem to shift and reform as the light flickers across them. The edge of this blade kind of dripping with a dark, viscous liquid. You don't recognize it as blood, but something else. Something older.
Like? I
Nothing-
recognize it, then what is it?
It's something that doesn't seem like blood, but it seems like something, like, not of that nature. It seems something more ancient, something not.
I would like to look around the room Even
Okay.
if I can't move my head, like at least get my eyes like at least like 180 degrees in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
This is not funny.
Okay.
Is there a large stick or stick-like thing? Because her brain goes right back to her conversation with Nylea and to handle things quickly and with a large stick. Even if it's like a candled stick.
There's nothing of that nature, like, around you in
Okay.
this moment. There's
She was
Seemingly,
hoping that was like a
uh,
coded assistance.
nothing of that nature in that area. He looks around at the people in the room and says, "The fallen empire and those that share the same passion in reigniting the old ways. This scholar is not a sacrifice, but a catalyst. And will be offered to awaken this individual's dormant lineage. And he looks down at Yura with the knife and says, "This is not death. This is remembrance." The figures in the room all draw a similar ritualistic dagger from underneath their cloaks. And they all move in unison as they begin to walk towards the altar and circle around Gadri. As Elendor takes his knife that he's holding with the black substance and he lowers it to now what you can see to be as an exposed forearm. Yura.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other cult members kind of begin to kind of move and kind of like have moved some of your personage because you can't move it yourself, but they kind of move it so that your arms are raised. And he lowers it down and the ooze kind of like drips down onto your skin as it gets closer. Your mind begins to pulsate as if like your heartbeat is in the veins of your head. And the veins on your forearm begin to illuminate with blue light. As the knife's skin begins to get closer, as you feel the like pointed edge of the knife on your skin. And you feel as the knife slowly moves across your arm, you feel the sharp hot pain of the blade slicing into your skin. The runes on the dagger begin to glow. You kind of wince amidst the pain, and the shadows in the room begin to sort of stretch unnaturally as if your vision is being distorted. And the sounds echoing in the room of Gadri's muffled screams and the tearing flesh in the distance as the cultists circle around, seemingly making fast movements that you're not able to see in front of them. Meanwhile, the rest of you in the group, I'm going to need you all to make, and Jax included, a Constitution saving throw.
And since those of us with dark vision, we saw those figures, I'm assuming.
Correct. And would that be
Cool.
what, you and Verity? Or is Verity the only one with dark vision?
I have dark vision.
I have dark vision too.
Okay. Yeah, and humans don't, and I don't think changelings do either.
You don't.
15.
So, you got a 15. What did you...
10.
15.
Okay. So, Jax seemingly is the only one that is able to kind of, like, break away from this spell. And he, like, immediately, like, races out the doorway of this room and kind of looks around and sees that, some of the other patrons of the inn essentially are starting to kind of be confused as why the lights are out. and you see like some of like he sees this like person from like the innkeeper kind of going around and like relighting some of the like lights in the space, trying to get some like the lanterns and stuff to kind of relit.
Did we see them drag her out the door, or did they just like poof away?
They took her out the front door,
Okay.
or essentially the door of this room, and kind of
Okay.
turned out on the hallway, and then you guys didn't see anything after that. Jax comes back in, essentially looking somewhat defeated, as like he's kind of like, because like before he comes back in, he essentially like ran down the hall, and then kind of you saw him like cross back in front of the doorway and run the other direction, essentially just trying to see if he sees anything. He comes back and the box now kind of on one of like the tables next to where Ira was standing. He essentially like opens the lid and has Cole like kind of go inside. And he puts the box on his personage, and he looks at the three of you and says, "Can you guys move? Can you do anything at all?" Unable to respond.
I shake my pupils like, no.
Yeah. Go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw, because essentially the way it works in combat is you essentially can make the saving throw like every 6 seconds, like, or every turn of initiative.
16 plus 3, 19.
Dirty 20.
Okay, so Eliana and
11.
Sable break out of it. Verity still seems to be afflicted, and as you all kind of like start to limber up, essentially from being stiff, because essentially I would think that you guys were like this for at least a good hour, if not a little bit more.
Whoa.
Before you're able to like break away
Spell
from this.
lasts for an hour?
Holy shit.
I can look back at the spell and see. Yeah, it says the duration is instantaneous. The stun target can make a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a successful save, the effects of stunning effects ends. So essentially, like, you guys would have been trying to break out of this essentially like every 6 seconds or so, but unable. Like, I would assume that when the fret magic is fresh, or even being afflicted by multiple targets, you would be kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage for a little while. But as it slowly starts to wear off, go ahead and make another one.
16.
16. You still aren't able to break out of it.
Girl.
I used them all on them decks.
I would give
yeah.
you guidance, but that only helps for checks. It doesn't help for saving throws.
You want me to just keep doing it?
Yeah, you can keep doing it.
I'm going to see if I can get Stella in the box.
19.
Okay. So you open the little lid of the box, and she's able to kind of like
Hey, girl.
scurry in.
Please be safe. We have some stuff we have to deal with.
So she kind of like hops in, and Texas, what are we gonna do? Where did they take her?
I don't know. Just a second.
And I'm going to get out my quartz,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast Locate Creature. I don't think she's nearby, but I'm going to try it.
I totally had that in my notes. I knew you were gonna do that. I love it. And so you essentially use a locate creature spell, and essentially I would think it does the same thing, where it kind of like spins like a kind of like almost like compass as it spins in the palm of your hand, and essentially it's pointing in a direction.
Okay, so she's around. She's around. We good to go? We ready to go? Oh, Verity's still stuck.
I got I rolled a 19.
Okay, so you eventually you get out of it, and
Guys, I almost swore as Eliana. I almost said shit. I caught myself. I was like, she doesn't swear.
she doesn't swear language. So
Just hear Flossidus whisper in her ear, "Careful."
So essentially now that you guys have a heading, he says, "All right, let's go. Come on."
Do you like slap her out of it? How does this work?
She's good.
Oh, she's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think as you were like you bring out the crystal, she kind of like stumbles forward a little bit, like okay, that was a lot. All right.
Okay, she's this away. Do we want? What are we doing? Let's go. Okay, but
Let's
do we
go.
need to prepare something? Like, what are we getting into?
What did you guys see anything? That when she was
yeah.
taken?
There were cloaks.
There was
and
people in
symbols.
cloaks that grabbed her and took her out the front door. I don't know where they took her though.
They were wearing masks.
We saw the symbol.
Yeah, essentially as they turned around, you would see the same symbol on each of their cloaks.
They had the symbol that was in the scry. So definitely them.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I wish I could prepare my spells for this. Okay, let's go. Okay.
So you are all like kind of racing through the streets of Luer, and you are essentially guided back through the Alderwood Athenium, or that led back to there. The same arcane lock still on the front door. And
I'm gonna punch the window.
you're gonna punch the window.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll for that unarmed strike.
They kidnapped my friend. For unarmed strike.
Yeah.
Can I hit it with my quarterstaff?
Sure.
That's a 12.
I wonder I don't know what the AC of inanimate objects is.
I don't know.
It would be glass. Like glass is going to be weaker than like oak.
Yeah,
Can
they're
I-
not fucking treated glass. Yeah, we're in them.
Yeah.
So it's arcane locks. So no magic can get through it.
Correct. Let's
Gotcha.
see.
I think it.
Oh, I know how this.
Damn.
You
so,
said I recognized the spell.
So this is from an actual D&D website.
Yeah.
The armor class for substances, cloth, paper, and rope, the AC is 11.
Uh-huh.
Crystal, glass, and ice is 13.
God damn it!
So you like take the quarterstaff and you like hit the window and it essentially like bounces off a little bit.
You gotta aim for the corner. Earlier today, there was an arcane lock. Does anyone have to dispel magic? Anyone? Does anyone have dispel magic?
Wait, do I? Or do I just have to take magic?
I don't have it prepped.
I'm gonna try hitting the window again.
All right, roll for that quarterstaff.
I'm panicking.
Aim for the corner.
My friend is in there. That's worse.
Oh no.
That's
Oh no, it's not. It's a 9. It's not a 6. Okay, so that's a 13.
okay. So essentially, you hit it and it shatters, and you hear footsteps in the alley beside the building, kind of slowly encroaching, kind of from the distance.
I missed you stepping in through the window.
Okay. A hooded figure steps out of the shadows as you, Misty, step through the window, and the rest of you are still in front of this building. And the figure kind of like walks out of the shadows and like
Is it the
lowers its
sun?
hood, and you see Kaylin Baylor.
Is this the new navigator?
This was the navigator from the ship.
Trying to tell you guys. Nobody would give me the bait though.
Uh,
I didn't want to meta
Knew
game.
it.
And as he does, he essentially,
can Verity throw her dagger at him?
Watch him be like actually totally nice, and he's like, I'm actually a plant in there. Like I have the information. You guys need."
That's wild. That's a wild theory.
I need you to make a wisdom. I need you all to make wisdom saving throws.
Did he see me? Do I have to make it? I'm inside.
Not yet.
I'm not inside yet, or that
Used
I
all
don't
your
have to
luck
make
earlier.
a check yet.
I got a 5.
Okay.
You're going back in the bag, honey.
25.
Okay. So Jax and Verity fail and are now victim to the hold monster spell. As he turns to you, what are you going to do in this moment?
Throw a tarot card. Slice his throat.
It's just him.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to command him to go away.
Okay.
Flee.
He has to make a.
Let me find it. I have a long spell list. Wisdom 16.
Wisdom 16.
Please don't do it.
So that's a 19 without any modifiers. So
All right, so
23.
didn't work. Please go away. Please.
And he looks at you and says, "Tisk tisk," and kind of like does one of these, and now make another wisdom saving throw.
You mother.
Can I do something?
Yeah. What would you like to do?
I would like to attack this man.
Okay. How are you going to attack?
I would like to throw a guiding bolt through the window.
Okay.
22.
Hey, wow. All right.
Let's go.
So you are still free. Go ahead and roll
What?
for
Like
your
it's
attack.
hard? Very Elwood.
Right? Okay, here we go.
Is my friend in there?
It's only a 12.
My friend's in there.
That seems rude.
That sounds like a lot
Stop
of
it.
dice.
Stop.
Stop.
Let me check my spells.
I'm just trying to break this dude's concentration, but I can't even hit him.
Buff table question.
Yes.
If one of us got slapped, could that be considered the help action?
I mean, you're paralyzed.
I know.
Let me do math, Rick. Hold on.
Wait, is he attacking? He's attacking Sable.
We don't know. We don't know what he's doing.
The rules lawyer in me is fighting to get out to check what fucking hold monster is to see if I can break it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna.
How many hit points do you have?
Oh no.
Sable?
Hit points?
Mm-hmm.
This
What's
is
your
bad.
Health? What's your health?
No.
Oh, only 84.
84? Okay.
Oh, maybe it's not as
TPK
bad as I think it is. Okay.
Okay. So he is going to upcast the shit out of the sleep spell.
Yeah.
And he casts it on you. And it affects people with 88 hit points or less. That's what he rolled, because he rolled. Because essentially, as you upcast each level, because at first it's 5d8, and then you add 2d8 per level that he's upcasting it. So it's second, third, fourth.
He had to
fifth,
roll
and
really
sixth.
fucking well.
He upcasted it at 6th level, so at each level you upcast, you add 2d8s to it. So that's why I asked. So it lasts for a minute, and there's no saving throw that you make. It just, as long as it's that hit points or less,
sleeping?
you're asleep. So
Fuck me.
he goes like this, and you drop to a sleep. You're just like,
Are you immune to magical sleep?
nope, because she's a human.
God damn.
Ain't an elf like you.
God damn.
You're also immune to magical sleep.
It's almost as if I looked at all your character sheets before I did that.
It's almost like you're a DM, and that's part of your job.
Trust me, with all the different fucking immunities that all you have, I have to pay attention to
I don't
that
have
shit.
any.
I know, that's why. It's funny. So you cast the guiding bolt. How much what did you roll for the attack, right? It's essentially, or did you just straight attack?
I only rolled a 12 to hit.
Okay, so you essentially, he gets hit with like this like burst of light, and he looks at you through the window, and essentially he and make a wisdom saving throw.
Is this to avoid the charm condition?
Does hold monster considered charm? Nope. It's
I don't
it's paralyzed. Nope, it's not charmed.
Yeah, no, you're right. If it was charm monster, then yeah.
Please.
He's like, what? My plans is going well.
You said a wisdom?
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, my wisdom's 19. No!
Nope.
He learned from Sable.
So you now are like kind of like frozen in this like position in
Yeah.
the window after like throwing the guiding bolt. He kind of like
I'm frozen mid-duck.
Yeah, you're kind of like going like mid duck. I'm gonna need. So what is your passive perception?
20.
20 and mine's 18. There's something where like Jax like sees something in you, so do you, like something kind of like a shadow moving on the roof, one of the rooftops, or like a couple of them.
Are we in initiative?
No.
Please be the Krungs.
Back.
That would be so funny.
Back with Ira.
Let me cook.
Your Ira's Morian power starts to kind of erupt in the room. And essentially you're able to break out of this like paralysis that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do once this kind of breaks? Because essentially like you're in that like kind of like magical eruption that you had known before in that cave. It kind of is what like pushes them off of you, and you're like essentially they're still trying to hold on. So I would say you have to make a strength saving throw to break the grapple first.
Well, that's not going to go well. No. It's a 4.
Okay, so essentially you are unable to break the grapple, but so they're still holding you. But you're able to freely move. So essentially you could keep trying to break it, or you can start to try to do something else. They don't seem to be trying to hurt you, if that makes any sense.
Anymore.
Can a weapon be my knee?
Consider it an unarmed strike if you're trying to hit somebody with your knee.
How about the heel of my boot?
If it is not a tangible weapon.
So what I would like to do is I would like to use True Strike. Guided by a flash of magical insight, you make one attack with the weapon used in spells casting. The attack uses your spell casting ability for the attack damage rolls instead of using strength or dex.
So True.
And it can be radiant damage or weapons normal damage by your choice.
I don't think True Strike. It essentially says the weapon cast in the spell. So essentially, if you're trying to do an unarmed strike to essentially hit one of them,
Technically, fists count as weapons.
I can't use a fist. That's why I asked about like a knee or like my foot.
Right, but I feel like that would apply to body part. I don't know. That's your rolling. That's your decision.
it says from the words of the spell. It says the weapon in the casting of the spell. So essentially, like,
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, but you can still make an unarmed strike.
That's fine. I'm going to instead cast. It's also a cantrip. Word of Radiance.
Okay.
Burning radiance erupts from you in a 5-foot emanation. Each creature of your choice that you can see in it must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage.
Okay.
I can. A cantrip upgrade increases 1d6 when you reach levels 5, 11, and 17. I'm a level 6 paladin, so I'm going to upcast that to 2d6 instead of 1d6.
Okay. Okay. So what saving throw?
Constitution saving throw got to beat a 13.
So only one of them succeeds, and I'll say that Elendor, the one that's standing in front of you, is the one that succeeds. The other two fail. So essentially, it erupts, and these two that are like kind of trying to hold you down, kind of get pushed outward as like the bright light kind of like afflicts them.
They take 8 points.
Okay.
Of radiant damage.
And Elendor says, "Don't hurt the air," and kind of keeps moving. Like these,
Are my hands free now?
Yeah, you're free now.
Do I have my daggers on me?
You do, but you do not have your bow.
That's fine. I don't need my bow. Go away. You saw that, right?
Yeah. She's fighting her computer.
Great. So those are coming out. And we are... Is Elendor holding me?
No.
At all?
He essentially had sliced across your wrist, and when that, Morian magic kind of, erupted...
Lovely. I'm backing up 5 feet, and we're throwing down a moonbeam right on fucker.
Okay. There's no saving throw or roll for a hit?
Has to beat a con save of 13, or... I'm skimming too fast. On a failed save, creature takes 2d10. Successful save takes half damage.
Okay.
So I gotta beat a 13 again.
Oh,
on a
damn.
con save.
On this sound for Puckbard, there was a glass break. I could have did that when you broke the window.
It's okay. I'll add it in post.
So go ahead and make that roll.
Did you beat a 13?
It's a what saving throw?
Con.
On 17.
7 points of
Okay.
radiant damage on him.
So this moonbeam like comes down, and he is like kind of like burned by the moonlight a little bit, and essentially kind of like tries to step back out of this. As he's kind of stepping back, the other cultists that were surrounding Gadri kind of move away from this like bloodied body, and essentially you're starting to kind of like also start to run towards you in this moment. Kind of like all kind of running past Elendor as they kind of try to get closer to you.
She's going to give it a second.
Mhm.
When they get close enough, she's going to Misty Step to the professor.
Okay.
Smart.
Okay, so you, as they kind of get close enough, you can kind of Misty step across the room. And as you get close to Gadri, he is very much not alive.
And I don't have ceremony anymore.
That takes a hot second too.
Still though. I could have saved a slot. Was what I was looking for. Doors?
Maybe.
There does not seem to appear to be any doors in this room.
How do we get in? Did we jump through a window?
There's a way in.
Sewer.
There's no doors at all?
Not that you can see.
What are there? So I Misty stepped past them.
Mm-hmm. They essentially just turn around and start going back the other direction.
That's so fucking funny.
It's like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
They turn around.
How many of them are there?
There's about like, I want to say like 8 to 10. 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
We'll go on the 10 side, considering this was like
10
a
side.
ritual.
Okay, so I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that won't work because I don't have a spell slot. I have a 6th level thing, but not a 6th level spell slot. And I was like, can I upcast Magic Missile to 6 levels to have 9 darts? But I don't have a spell slot for it. So
Interesting thought.
I mean, can I try it? I don't have a spell slot, so I can't do it.
You don't have a spell slot. Yeah, let me just give you a spell slot.
do it?
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Champion?
For me.
You're asleep.
I'm
For me.
That's her.
You're sleeping. No.
Spiritually giving the help action.
Stop.
Crying's a free action.
Gosh.
And you told us about your Marian blood shit, right?
The thing that happened in the cave, I would think so, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there too.
Yeah,
so,
you were there.
Yeah.
The only person that wouldn't know about it is Sable.
Yeah. I don't have that, so I can't use it. I'm not going to fight 10 people on my own. I'm not a complete idiot.
Well, you can't die.
This is so true.
I give
Oh
you a
my
spell that doesn't let you
God.
die.
Fuck you, Jack. Sable's joining the party.
So it lasts for how long?
A day.
8 hours.
So you casted that when you guys were first in the like at the like when you went back.
It would have
outside
been
the
like
tavern?
late morning, early afternoon.
Yeah, when she
because
came back.
I think it was in the evening when we got back to the tavern.
No, it was before. It
Oh,
was when
okay, maybe
she
it was.
When
first
she
like
first
told
told us
everybody. Like
about it.
Ira was or
okay.
Verity was like, "Come outside, everybody. We gotta go."
It was after she already prayed to Nightlia and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right after that.
Don't let her waste a spell slot. Come on.
She can't die.
They're valuable.
Technically, it's been 8 hours.
How technically? How?
Like right down to the second.
It is like
I'll give you
the-
30 minutes.
It's
How
like
about
the middle
that?
of the
30
night.
minutes to not die.
30 minutes to 30 seconds to Mars.
Cat.
30 seconds to Mar.
Oh, shit. That was good.
I can be funny. So that moonbeam's still going.
Yeah,
How stupid are these guys?
they're not.
Can I move it?
You can try.
How much damage are they taking?
10?
I mean, you can move it. You can only move it to one spot. You can't continuously like move it around. Like
As long as I have concentration, I can move it.
Okay.
Just because we're kind of in a non-initiative wiggly space right now.
Who looks to be the most threatening?
Probably Elendor. Boop. Do you make him take more points of damage?
Fuck yeah, I do.
What's your AC again? 17?
Actually, no, it's not. Because
18?
no,
20?
no. Hold on, please hold. Where is it? I just saw it. I've casted Shield of Faith on myself, so now my AC is a 20.
Before that? Or before I threw these rolls down?
Before you threw the rolls down, which means Moonbeam no longer exists because I broke concentration.
I don't think you said that. So...
I did.
I'm not sure you said that. I don't think so.
Oi!
I think you just moved the moonbeam and made the guy take damage, so...
No, I think you misunderstood mine.
Yeah, no, nice try. So 18 is your AC.
I get the spell slot back then.
That's fine.
Yeah, that spell slot's
It
mine.
was a good attempt. It was a good try. Since we're not an initiative, it's a real dicey.
Everyone, we
but-
just have to gaslight him. 4 women against him.
We were all in too.
six of these cultists have made landing attacks with their daggers.
Jeez. What happened to not hurting her?
We just gotta not like kill her, I guess.
Yeah, they said they can't kill her. They just can't, you know.
3 of them get hit with magic missile. 3 of the 4.
You take 17 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
I love this non-initiative, just back and forth, like ba-bow, 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 ba-bow.
Good. That's wrong. All right.
Ooh.
4, 4, 5.
Okay.
You said 17.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
As
Boop.
you kind of like hit them with like this concussive force to like push them back.
Do I
you
have
said
any
you said how many?
control?
You said how many?
4, 4, and 5.
Or how many people did you hit?
3.
3?
Because I only get 3 things. Can I finish what I was gonna do?
No, 5 more people hit you with more dice.
Why?
They're still coming at you.
I was gonna do a thing before you rolled the dice this time.
There's 6 seconds in each technique.
And I have 2 more casts of magic missile, and I was gonna use one of them. Because I have a use in 2, like,
yeah. Okay. You threw the magic missile out after you got slashed.
and then I immediately bam.
And then it lets you didn't say Misty Step, first of all. You said magic missile.
Because I was counting the damage.
So because you were counting something, you meant to say something else?
I hadn't gotten there yet.
Right. So essentially this back and forth, we can do the back and forth, right? Like I can roll, you can roll, I can roll, you can roll.
Technically, Misty Step's a bonus action,
Ew.
so not an action.
So
Okay, so you Misty Step where?
as far away to the other end of the room as I can get.
Okay.
Are
I
Can
feel
I
like this would
roll?
be solved with an initiative. They're like, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Good word.
Can I roll to see if there's an entrance or an exit?
For perception?
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. I don't want to take your word for it. It's an 18.
I mean, you don't necessarily see it. Like, again, you're just looking around and you just see bookshelves. Like, bookshelves and the altar.
Secret bookshelf.
I have a use of detect magic. Does that do anything worthy?
Taking up a lot of time here, Chief. It's been a little bit more than 6 seconds.
Well, I missed you steps, so I bought myself time.
Yeah, but the 2 cultists that you had previously hit with the radiant damage on the other side of the room, essentially, are over where you just
I figured
went.
they were running.
That was the other 10. That was the ones that killed Godry. There's essentially 12 cultists in Elendor in the room.
Okay, there's 12 of them in Elendor.
So
Understood.
Wait.
You know, I'm trying this new thing of like theater of the mind, so I don't have to like make a battle map every single time that this kind of stuff happens. But you know,
Well, yeah, but like,
'Cause-
initiative might help.
10 of them were around Godry.
Yeah.
You were being held by 2 with Elendor in front of you. You did the radiant damage to push the 2 away from you and broke free and did Moonbeam. Hurt him, and then you Misty stepped over to the altar where the other 10 basically turned around after running towards you and turned back. The other 2 stayed on the other side of the room,
Okay,
so when you
I
Misty
didn't
stepped over
know.
there, they were over there.
I didn't know the other 2 stayed back. There was a very easy assumption that was drawn that everybody ran at me.
Well, there's also math. 12 is 10 plus 2.
I don't think we knew how many there were. But now we do.
I guess you're right. I should have painted that picture a little bit better. That's my bad.
We're just confused. It's okay.
Again, I know initiative in a battle map would help, but that requires time in a day.
That's okay.
So essentially one more hits you with a dagger as you kind of turn, as you're looking around for a door. You kind of get slashed again by one dagger. Take 2 points of slashing damage.
He has no modifier on that dagger? There's no plus to that?
Maybe he rolled
It was
a
an
1.
18.
No. Because, daggers 1d4 plus something.
I haven't been adding that.
Oh, okay.
So they're pretty realistic daggers. I mean, they could be more for show.
I love this liminal space we're in where I don't know what's happening with combat. I'm just like,
I
yes.
see it. I see it.
I'm envisioning it too.
I am seeing a Skyrim library in my mind, but that is
it's kind of like
That's
vaulted
happening.
ceilings. So
Yeah.
it's like a
it's all stone.
long hallway-esque type room. It's all stone. There's old wooden bookshelves lining all both the sides and the back wall, and there's an altar, a stone altar on one end. The description was a little wordy. I get that,
No, I was just like, it's like we're putting one toe in. It's like, are we going in? Are we going to combat? Or are we not? Are we stepping in or not? What's happening? Whose turn? What's going down?
I'm trying to be patient and let things happen. Just trying to see what occurs next.
What's cooking?
Yeah, she's cooking real hard.
Not really.
She's on high,
Not really.
she's on high heat.
Sure. I can't do that, can I? It's not going to do what I wanted to do. Doesn't have to work. Gonna try it.
Okay.
Minor illusion.
Okay.
I can create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. Can be my voice, someone else's voice. Sound continues unabated throughout the duration, or you can make discrete sounds at different times before the spell ends. Lasts for a minute. And my heart rate's fucking going. I hate this.
Checking your watch to see your
I am. From the opposite, so the tall vaulted ceiling, right? She's doing this from memory because it's been decades since she's heard his voice. She's going to minor illusion what she remembers her brother's voice to be, screaming, "Leave her alone."
Okay. So you yell that out through the halls of this, or the walls of this room. And as you do, you hear kind of metal hitting stone as two large footsteps kind of come out from one side. So essentially it comes out from a bookcase towards the altar in the room. And you hear this echoing voice yelling, "Enough!" And they stop what they're doing based off of what you did with the minor illusion. But then that voice echoes through and it kind of silences the room and everybody freezes in place. As this towering figure standing nearly 8 feet tall of a Warforged walks into the room. Lime green glowing eyes and wearing what would appear to be adventurer gear but has a cult cloak over top of it. The towering figure of elvish craftsmanship and ancient war magic, standing nearly 8 feet tall, a form sculpted from intricate blends of blackened mithril, enchanted duskwood, and alchemical gold filigree that runs through like veins across his body. His proportions are graceful yet unnervingly precise, with a broad chest and slightly elongated limbs. The head is elongated and a bit angular, resembling the smooth, expressionless visage of a high elven war mask. Engraved with faded runes of command and combat directives, His eyes are deep-set crystalline lenses illuminated in that lime green color. But it seems as if this Warforged has not been untouched by time. What would be normally understood from a Warforged is like pristine plating is kind of scarred by thousands of different like dents and deep gouges. There's vines and lichen that have grown into the crevices of the armor and remnants of centuries spent in ruin and kind of dormancy. His right arm seems to be partially kind of replaced with like what looks like scavenged metals and kind of archaical gears, kind of like it looks like it was repaired or like kind of fixed. He's wearing the cult cloak over top of it, and he steps forward, and you can see kind of on one of the exposed pauldrons is that there is a sigil on one of the pauldrons that resembles that of, from what you've seen, to be as like a Marian sigil. But it's somewhat barely recognized given that like the age and battle wounds. And you can see as he steps forward, the cult starts to kind of like part and like break towards the walls as he kind of like steps in. And even the people that are near you in the back of the room break away from you. And
she's gonna hold her ground.
Mhm.
So like take like a fighting stance. She's not gonna jump at him or anything, but she's just ready.
The Warforged slowly walks forward, and it says,
"It's good to see you, sister."
And it steps forward, like it kind of gets closer.
Can I see him, or is he just in this thing?
The voice is coming from this Warforged.
Yeah, so he's in it.
It seems mechanical, yet it's still like very much resembling. It's as if like some like kind of mechanical voice and his are being overlapped. And it stands about maybe like a foot or so from you. And towering above you by at least like 2 to 3 feet.
I expected you to put up a fight, but not as much as this one.
You scared? Why don't you come out and say hello?
And it kind of like leans down and says,
Are you?
She's making eye contact. She's firm. She's if she has to, like, she's thinking in her mind, she's like, I did not lose everyone up until this point to cave now.
mm-hmm.
So no, she's not going to buckle. At least not with him in that form.
And he says,
Elendor, finish the ritual.
and Elendor kind of like slowly kind of like skulks like kind of close to you, with the dagger, and essentially the other two kind of like cultists that were behind you kind of come back up on you and kind of like go to like grab your arms and raise your forearms again. Do you let them happen or do you respond?
Do I have any control at all over the, like, Marian rage?
What does he want to do?
Push them off? Because she ultimately, she wants to see his face. She wants to see that he is actually there in front of her.
Okay, so you essentially, like, they go to grab you and you kind of, like, push them away.
Mm-hmm.
What spell would you like to use to try to do that?
No, I asked if I have any control over the Marian
I know, I'm
rage.
asking you what you would do if you were.
She's
like,
just going to try to do that. She hasn't, there's
like a
nothing
telekinetic
here.
type
Yeah.
force push. Unfortunately, no. Like, it's something it would be channeling through your magic, essentially, as your, it's activated. It's something that, like, when the ritual knife, like, hit, like, afflicted in you and this, like, ooze, like, touched you or something, there was something that, like, activated for a brief moment. So it's unless you're trying to push something through your magic, there's nothing that's just kind of, like, there's no innate powers that you would have access to at this time.
I think she'll... I couldn't do it before. This is when she'll do the Shield of Faith. Tap to toys.
Okay.
Just gonna raise my AC up. Right? That's how that works, correct? Yep. Plus bonus AC for the duration. To try to like get them to not like grab her.
Okay.
Does he turn away? Is he walking away from her?
He's staring down at you.
What are you afraid of?
Nothing.
Come say hello.
Oh, I'm not here.
I figured as much.
This is more of a precaution.
You couldn't owe me the decency of showing up. Just as you abandoned me when I was a child.
I didn't think you deserved it.
Deserved what?
I have other things that I need to tend to. You
Like
are not
abducting
one of
those
them.
you deem unworthy. She's thinking back on Millie, sister.
No, I only take those that are worthy. That understand the work that we're doing.
What work is that? She's trying to buy time.
Yeah.
She's trying to buy time.
Elendor kind of comes up and like grabs your wrist, essentially too, like, and he takes the dagger and he goes to make another like cut into your wrist.
She's gonna pull her arm away.
Okay.
She has an AC of 20 right now. So
It's not. So as far as grappling is concerned, it's not. It's more of a strength check, not an AC check. So essentially,
I mean, that's fine. I'll roll for it.
okay. Go ahead and roll for strength.
So you did cast Shield of Faith.
I did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But I did it later. Yeah. None of you feel good. Also feel like I'm gonna like say fuck it to all of these rolls because of my hand. And it's a general strength.
Yeah.
Just a 9.
Yeah, this was 19. Or no, excuse me, 14. So essentially, he's like grabbing your wrist. You try to pull it away, and he's like, he moves the knife, and you feel that like kind of pulsating headache back in your head.
Yeah.
And he essentially like he's kind of being less surgical with it, so it's kind of more just like in like a quick like slashing motion, and you feel again that like hot pain against your arm. And it seems as though this time he hit something where like more like of your blood is coming out. And as the blood kind of like spills onto the stone of this room, you see it like the cracks and crevices of the stones in this room kind of essentially just like begin to like illuminate. It's almost like once the blood hit the ground, it like spread this like bioluminescence lines that all kind of started linking back to that that altar in the front of the room. And more runes on the altar itself begin to light up. As this happens, and then like you see in your arm like this blue that's like energy that's kind of running through the veins of your arm, and it's kind of like it's almost like spreading to your wrist and up your like forearm into like your bicep and stuff. As it's kind of like the energy is kind of like it's almost as if like the Marian blood of yours is reacting to whatever is on the knife, and it's like spreading out.
She's gonna continue to try to flex it.
Yeah.
She has no idea what she's doing. No idea what she's doing. But she knows she's like taken out an entire like battalion of Sharkin before with this stuff, so she's like, we're gonna do it, see what happens.
Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
7.
7.
Is it good or bad that it's a little?
Oh, it's bad.
Yep.
But not in the way
Look,
that
it was a 2. It could have been a 1, guys.
but not the way that you want. So essentially, you're not able to muster up whatever control is necessary to essentially harness this like innate ability. And essentially the Warforged itself kind of in a quick flash essentially is like it's almost as if like it's moving with speed that's like way higher than what a normal person would be. And you see as it's looking down at you, kind of like as it like had stood straight up, it like almost like moved over towards you, and it's now like standing almost like kind of like quickly behind you, very much like an anime like quick like slash, and you feel this like intense like force pain as like it kind of as if you had been punched like several times without even seeing it happen, and you essentially like cough, and there's like a little bit of like blood that like coughs out of your mouth when you do that. And you feel as if like a couple of your ribs have cracked.
Awesome. So cool. It's a cantrip. I'm gonna do it again. Minor illusion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to target just behind whatever the Warforged, however it receives sound.
Mm-hmm.
Our mother's voice.
Oh.
Okay.
And Ira's gonna do her best to replay a memory of her childhood, of her mother grieving what her brother's done.
Okay.
So something that I think her parents wouldn't have realized that she'd heard. To try to just like make some kind of a plea.
Mm-hmm.
And what damage should I take for the ribs breaking? I feel like that warranted some sort of health decrease.
No, you got caught by the daggers, but your ribs, they're fine.
They're fine.
just
They're
cracked.
fine. They're just dislocated. It's fine.
That's the one thing I hate about D&D is like combat sometimes is like so counterintuitive to storytelling.
Yeah.
That's why I was so confused. I was like, what's happening?
Well, right now I have
You
70.
took 19 points of force damage.
Okay. I was
Or
gonna-
actually, no, hold on. 44.
That's really different. That's really
I forgot to add the pluses. I just rolled the D8s.
I was gonna say because I had 75 out of 94 before, and I was like, if y'all would have walked in and I'd only taken like 17 points of damage, and I had like 4 broken ribs, the logic wasn't there.
Yeah.
So,
So you do this with your mother's voice, and you see this like a Warforged kind of like whip around, and it like grabs the back of your head,
sweet.
and like almost like in a force like crashes you down to the floor, and essentially like smacking you into the ground. And it like the face kind of like leans, and it's like this mechanical whirling as it like leans towards your ear, and it says,
Nice fucking try.
and then like picks you, like kind of like picks your hair back up in your face.
And she looks at him and says, "So you do feel guilty?"
Not in the slightest.
And he throws, like he grabs you by the hair and throws you against the wall.
Thanks for letting me not die today.
And you take
30 out of 31.
Don't say that yet. Don't say that yet, because he only gave you 30 minutes.
it's true.
You're still not going to die today.
I am the plot.
You take 25 more points of bludgeoning damage as you are essentially thrown into one of these bookcases, and like the like cracks the bookcase, and all these books kind of like fall over the top of you.
Yeah.
Where's that fight in you that's existed for so long? You're just gonna roll over and take it?
I can fix him. Stop it. Stop it. Girl.
Gross. 5, 3, 2 points of damage to him. Magic missile.
Okay.
It's not much, but you know.
Where do you aim for? What do you aim for with these?
We're going for. Would I know what the weakest point is on a Warforged?
Not.
If
This
not,
kind of
then
build.
she's gonna go for whatever connects the head to the rest of it is gonna be where she's gonna target.
How much damage total?
5 plus 3 plus 2, whatever that is. I don't know.
So 10. So the 10 points of bludgeoning damage kind of like hits like up under the neck. And for a brief second, you see like as it kind of like hits, because he was kind of like leaning down to look at you when he said all that.
Yeah.
This like it like hits underneath the chin, and you hear in like a completely different voice, like essentially like as these impacts hit, the eyes like change color briefly to this like illumination of like a blue, like a light, like a very light blue, and it says,
Please, help me. Get him out of my head.
back to the group.
Bum bum ba-da.
So now Kaylin is kind of slowly walking over to the group, like kind of like that's like stood still, and it says, "Putting your nose where it doesn't belong. I knew you lot would be trouble, but hold on." And he looks like you're short a few. And he looks at you, who's like essentially like sleeping on the ground. And he looks like, and he kind of like grabs you by the hair, lifting your face. It looks like you got a bit of a new member. Oh, shame, dear. Seems these fools have dragged you into their mess. And he lets go of the hair, like your face like kind of like hits the ground.
Damn it.
And as you guys are all kind of like looking onward at this, and he kind of stands back up, and you hear like, and it's like it's heard like kind of in close proximity, but it's like often in the distance. And you see not long after a series of 5 different Harengon land, like essentially in this like part of the street. The 5th kind of lands behind Kaylin, and it seems to be a little bit slightly larger than the other 4. And you hear, "Oi, best if you didn't do that, I think." And Kaylin turns around, and you hear, and then all of a sudden in a flash, like all 5 of the Haragons like move super quick, as if like they just like twist, like it's almost as if they just twisted or twitched. But they all kind of essentially didn't, almost looks like they didn't even move. They just kind of like twitched for a second. And you see that like Kaylin is just kind of like frozen in this moment. And you hear like, as the body just like crumbles into pieces on the ground. And who Jax recognizes to be Tuckslop, like flicks the sword down, and the blood like comes off of his sword. And the so Tuckslop, or Jax recognizes Tuckslop and Olana. And the other 3 Harengons aren't familiar.
Guys, I'm really excited because Cindy fucked Olana. I'm excited about the bunny. Sorry.
So they all kind of like
You get to edit that scream.
in like these like battle stances kind of stand up now. And you all are freed from whatever. So you wake up, and the other 3 all kind of break free from this thing or the spell. And Tuckslop like looks it over at the group and tries to like find a familiar face. And he looks at Jax, and he says, "It's good to see you again, mate."
Was Tuckslop there when they rescued us with the airship?
No.
Okay.
That was Killian.
I wasn't sure if Killian and Tuckslop were
Tuckslop saw you guys in Dustwater, I think, but so he would maybe recognize you, but not in your autumn form.
That's right.
So,
you're right.
He looks at Jax and says, "It's good to see you, mate. Where's Ira?" And Olana like turns to looks at Eliana's like, "Do I know you?" No, I don't think so.
Because she was there. No? Yep. No.
It's a joke.
The
because
last
you played-
time,
Yeah.
the last time we saw Alana was
For
on
some reason, I
campus.
thought she was on the ship. I can't remember who was on the fucking ship.
It was all Ira's friends from back home.
Yeah.
And you see the other Harengons. So like they're essentially, they all have like, they're kind of all like wearing this like kind of fighting armor. One of them though, one of the 3 has like this like long kind of blue cape. He has like a shield on one of his arms, and essentially like he stands. They all kind of like walk over, and they kind of like pick each other, you guys up, and kind of make sure you guys are okay. And Jack says, "They have her inside somewhere." And Tuckslop says, "All right, let's go get her." And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
I was going to make a really stupid joke.
I know this is a bit of a short segment after the break, so we appreciate it, but we're just going to keep you guys in suspense. Got to keep you guys hanging on. But we'll see you in the next episode. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Bye.